After a subpar season, Dave Clawson and his Demon Deacons are full of optimism, raring to go, ready to open the gate to the 2024 season as Wake Forest hosts the North Carolina A&T Aggies to kick off the season. Alongside Charles Arbuckle, I am Matt Schick. We welcome you to week one of the college football season. And Charles, for Wake Forest, week one couldn't get here soon enough after a disappointing season that saw them miss a bowl game for the first time in 7 years. They're ready to turn the page.
Too long to marinate on it, Matt. They were ready to get back and play, and you could tell in the offseason, you could tell from talking to Dave Clawson, they were ready to get back to play because they know they're better than what they left last year.
And they're hoping to have a step up in quarterback. Again, like most programs, they had a quarterback competition in the fall, and that quarterback competition extends to tonight, where Mr. Kern, Michael Kern, is going to get the start over Hank Bachmeier.
Yeah, Hank Bachmeier came in and has 37 starts, but now Michael Kern will have his third start. He will get an opportunity to play. They said he really does a nice job from his athleticism and all the other things that he can do. Let's see how he manages this Wake Forest offense right out of the gate.
Both of these quarterbacks will get plenty of time tonight, but it is Kern that Dave Clawson has tabbed as the man to get the first snap tonight for this Wake Forest offense. And again, a normally prolific offense that really struggled last season. And Dave Clawson said, we went into the lab. We had to figure out what went wrong. We had to right those wrongs.
And he said everybody was involved, coaches, players. He said we got to be better with receivers, catching balls, blocking. Every single thing you have to fundamentally get better at. That's what he wants to see tonight.
North Carolina A&T did win the toss. They do defer. And Wake Forest will receive the opening kickoff to start 2024.
Off-season, get out of here, football, let's go.
We are about set to kick it off. Damon Claiborne is back there to return. The very dangerous kick returner catches it at the 2, to the 20. Powers his way to the 23-yard line. And that's where Wake Forest will start things tonight. Again, Michael Kern started a couple of games last season. This, his third career start, his 18th career game. Familiarity with the system certainly helps. His 6th year here with Wake Forest.
You know, he stayed around. He stayed in the program. They like his athleticism. They like what he was able to do. Even in the loss to Notre Dame last year, they want to see what he can do with this offense. We'll see both quarterbacks, but Michael Kern first.
And we'll see Tate Carney first as well. To his left. And again, Wake Forest with that slow mesh offense. They give it to Carney. And Carney, minimal gain. A couple of yards. Henry Daniel on the tackle for the Aggies.
One of the captains for the Aggies. The Aggies felt like they were better up front this year. They're going to have that against this powerful Wake offense. When they're rolling, they run the ball effectively and throw it over the top on you.
Claiborne is back in. Kern off to the far side. That's Taylor Morin, who is stuffed right at the line, behind the line. Josh Sumter, 41st game tonight that he's played, most on the team. He's there on the stop.
They felt like they could really contain these guys if they could keep them in front. We talked to their defensive coordinator. He said, we can't let it go over the top. If we have to make sure we keep them in front of us.
Mac David II also there on the stop, and now a third down and long. Kern holding the ball, throwing the ball, and it's a little short. It one-hops Horatio Fields, and a 3-and-out to begin the 2024 season for Wake.
Pressure off of that side, and Kern tried to step up, and he wasn't able to. That was the first. That's why that ball skirted through the grass and couldn't quite get there.
Dave Clawson saying that both of these quarterbacks, it was hard to tell either of them, no, you're not the guy. They're both going to get a few series here tonight. In this, a few series successively for Kern, and then he'll turn the reins over to Bachmeier. Ivan Moore back to punt. Now that is Aaron Harris, who's going to let this one bounce inside the 25 and takes a good hop. North Carolina A&T We'll have it at around the 18, roughly a 57-yard punt for Mora.
You don't want to have moral victories, but if you can contain an offense that's coming off the offseason wanting to go and 3 and out, that A&T defense has to be happy with how that was, because they were not very good on defense last year.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks and quarterback competitions, it was a pretty good one for North Carolina A&T as well. But Kevin White, number 0, is going to get the start. 7 games played last season. And quarterback their only win against Norfolk State. It was a trying season last year for the Aggies, but right now positive yardage on the first carry. That's Kenji Christian, the former transfer from Virginia Tech. Evan Slocum on the stop.
Well, that containment on that side, that left side of the line of scrimmage was down. Kenji Christian gets outside. They really like what he can do along with Wesley Graves. They think they have a thunder and lightning kind of combination between those 2 running backs.
They have the speed to make the defense pay, and that's a good gain there. Gain of 6 on first down. Quick pass, one hops the intended receiver. That's Christian. And talking to the coaches before the game, so we want to give Christian some touches. We want to get him involved in the passing game. That one a little short.
Brad Lambert, the defensive coordinator, only went with 4. They were almost able to get there. Kendron Wayman came up a little bit gimpy after that play. He's one of those front 4 for the Demon Deacons that can really get after you.
3 receivers to the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. Christian, the tailback. Bobbled by White. White over the middle, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. That was Laquan Feeney, who's really had a solid camp, but in and out of the hands. Dylan Hazen contributing there on the stop, and it's a 3 and out for the Aggies.
Really nice start to the drive, and then Wake Forest locks down. Feeney had a chance to catch that ball, but he was in between 2 defenders. Quarterback communication we'll talk a lot about, but also the tablets on the sideline now that both teams can use in these situations.
Andrew Brown is there to kick this one away. Missed last year with a knee injury. Resuming the role. Nice kicker as well. Pounds this one away. Morin returns it at the 30. The near sideline, tries to stay in bounds, does, spins to the 45, and some good field position for Wake Forest. Punt of 46, a return of 16. Wake Forest hopes their second possession better than the first. We're underway in the 2024 season in Winston-Salem. Dave Clawson and Wake Forest looking to rebound from last year's subpar bowlless season. But faring pretty well in home openers and fared pretty well in the transfer portal, but even he will admit it's becoming harder and harder to retain the roster. Look at some of the receivers, defensive backs that they lost out on. Deshaun Jones transfers to Alabama. A couple of guys, Malik Mustafa, Kalen Carson, go to the NFL. This is a developmental program, and he knows in this day and age in 2024 it becomes harder.
It's harder to keep your guys, but it's also harder to get guys, and I think we'll talk a lot about that tonight.
Kern drops back, that one into the breadbasket at the 35-yard line to Morin. Gain of 20, and that's what they're looking for.
Aaron Harris came off hard, number 4, but nice job by Kern of completing that pass.
Picking up the tempo here, Kern with the give. That's Claiborne to the near side, eludes a tackler, brushes off another, crosses the 30, and nears another first down. A nice gain of 7. Javon Armstrong Grady with the stop. But Damon Claiborne, top 10 in the ACC in all-purpose yards a season ago. He's built different.
That run right there was a prime example. Made 2 or 3 guys miss and still picked up some nice yards.
Kern can get it done a little bit with his legs. That's a first down.
One element of his game that they really like is his athleticism, and you saw right there. Claiborne can get a block on the outside. He can just go and pick a hole and get that first down. 3rd
career start. You will see the ball for a few consecutive series to start this game. Kern pulls it out of the belly of Claiborne, puts it into the hand of his receiver, Morin. It's the Kern and Morin show. David Laney puts him down, but not before they set up a first and goal with a gain of 17.
That slow mesh. Watch how it gets everybody up there. See, and then he pulls it out, boom, over the top. You can see Molidor didn't know where the ball was.
Claiborne knows where the ball is. He knows where the goal line is. Touchdown, Wake Forest.
Got to make tackles in the red zone. But Claiborne has a propensity to make you miss the tackles and get to the house.
Devon Claiborne, 5 rushing touchdowns a season ago. He's on the board with his first in 2024. How about Kern giving a little shove and then Claiborne doing the rest?
Claiborne in that hole. Mac David, return to the Mac, but no, it was Claiborne who got in. Nice cut in the hole.
Devon Claiborne. According to coaches, is playing on another level. The point after is good from Dennis. And it is 7-0 home team.
That offensive line came out and established themselves, said, hey, look, we're the big boys here. The beef boys is what they like to call themselves. Claiborne says, I love running behind you. Look at this blocking up front. And also Cameron Height with that one missed tackle and stick it and go. This defense had that first one, but this time they said no. And you have to respect the passing game here, but you got to be there for the run game. And Claiborne made them pay.
You know, there are some question marks. There are some unknowns on this roster, especially on the offense at wide receiver. Running back is not a question mark. They know who their guy is going to be. They've got some depth there as well.
You got Claiborne, you got Tate Carney. You've also got a young guy that they're interested in seeing, Ty Clark.
Yeah.
This is a very talented group. It's hot out there, so we might see a lot more guys running the football and in the receiving game, especially if Wake pulls away.
Tyler Black set to kick this off again. Wake Forest, they won their last 18 games against FCS opponents.
They can lights out in September too. They just know how to win this month.
Kenji Christian set to return, crosses the 20 and brought down around the 22-yard line. 21-yard return, and North Carolina A&T will set up shop. Again, a North Carolina A&T team that had a subpar season to say the least last year as well. 1-10 overall, 0-8 in the Colonial Athletic Association. Their second season in the CAA. After a stop at the Big South and before that the MEAC, a once proud program trying to get back.
Yeah, their head coach Vincent Brown and I butted heads when he was with the Patriots and I was with the Colts for a number of years. He said we're much better now than where we were last year, offensively and defensively.
And off to Wesley Graves, and he stopped for a minimal gain. It's Wesley Graves out of Danville, Virginia, third-year contributor here to this offense, more than 700 career rushing yards. As we take a look at Vincent Brown in his second season as head coach, hired back in January of 2023. Stop at William and Mary. A couple of other stops as well. He's been around Richmond, Virginia, trying to make North Carolina A&T back in the FCS as Graves crawls his way to the 26-yard line, gain of 3.
Well, David Marsh is their offensive coordinator who came over from Texas Southern. And they really feel like they have some advantages on the receiver position, but they've got to keep it in third and short to attack this defense because the pressure from Jasheen Davis, Kevin Pointer, and that front four is hard when you're behind the chains. They have to find ways to try to get that ball to the outside.
Kevin White, a lone experienced quarterback from last year's quarterback room. Now to third down under duress, and tries to get it to Graves, but could not make it happen. That defensive front and Kevin Pointer applying the pressure.
Yeah, they say JD and KP, well, one of them is going to make a play. And Kevin Pointer was right there on this stunt game, just really getting after it. You see how those interior ends come out, or the tackles come out, the ends go in, and KJ or Kevin White doesn't have time to sit back and throw that football.
A lot of experience, a lot of Wake Forest experience in that defensive front. 3 and out for North Carolina A&T. Andrew Brown kicks this away. Morin waits for it. Morin has it at the 28, hit immediately, but gets out of it, but cannot get out of that tackle by North Carolina A&T. A 46-yard gain, punt, I should say, and a 1-yard loss on the return. Gregory Featherstone, the third on the stop. Wake Forest trying to add to their 7-0 lead. ACC storylines heading into this season. Of course, 3 new members. 18-member conference with 17 football-playing members. And again, rivalries protected with that new scheduling model. No divisions. 7 different teams made the ACC championship over the last 4 seasons. Parity certainly abounds. And transfer quarterbacks are going to play a big part of this ACC. From Grayson McCall, go down the list.
Yeah.
Hank Bachmeier, we could see a little bit later on, and we'll see a little bit later on tonight here with Wake Forest.
Yeah, you got right up the road at Duke. You got, I mean, all of, right in this area in North Carolina alone with these guys that are coming in to play for the schools in the state.
Yeah, Blake Murphy at Duke. Cam Ward at Miami is Kern. Kern's going to juke his way to the 30-yard line. And that's what he can do with some of that athleticism. He's got the experience, and he can open things up and extend plays with the run game.
Well, once a big guy is trying to chase a smaller guy, it's always harder. And if you're able to get on the outside, that's what Kern can do, show you that speed.
Kern gives it to his tight end. That's Lodge. Harry Lodge, who really had a nice camp. Karan Prunty with the stop. Former Kansas Jayhawks, been an all-conference performer here for the Aggies. Yeah,
Prunty was a guy that I saw a few years ago, really good player, but Lodge and height, they feel like, and with DeLuca, they've got a really talented tight end group.
3rd down and 4 now for Michael Kern and Wake Forest in his 3rd possession of this first quarter. Bruce Alexander in motion. Kern looking his way, finds his receiver on the near side. That is Deuce Alexander, picks up the first down. Talking to Brad Lambert, he mentioned Deuce Alexander is a guy who's given us a lot of problems in fall camp.
He said that, but also the blitz pickup was really nice by Claiborne. Watch number 1 in the middle, boom! And that allows the quarterback to feel comfortable and get it out to a guy that's had a really good camp.
Gain of 17. On the pass from Kern, the slow mesh puts it out of the belly. He's got a man down the seam, in and out of the hands of Walker Merrill. That is the senior, former transfer from Tennessee. Played in 6 games last year, almost had his first tutty of the year.
Man, Kern with the nice, see how everything is there, just a little bit too long. And that's one where the receiver may say, if I don't stretch, if I run through it, but it's one of those things where you just put your hands out and try to go get it. Just missed him.
Good touch there from Kern off the fingertips of Merrill. Claiborne showing the sidestep. Beat down at the 45. Ty Williams Jr. on the stop, a gain of 5.
It would appear, Matt, that guys are going to say, man, I had him in my sight, but then all of a sudden he was gone. Again, Molador right there in his sight, 33, the really good player, but just couldn't quite rally him.
3rd down and 5 here for Wake Forest, and a whistle. And these are the kind of things that you'll see in the first game. First flag of the game for either team.
I was just thinking that it had been a pretty clean
You jinxed it. You absolutely jinxed it coming back from break.
Yeah, but the first game is always the hardest because you got the jitters, you got the heat, you got to, you know, all the different things. You got a crowd.
Offense, number 62, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And that's a guy that's really good. I don't ever want to say anything bad about Devontae Gordon because he may try to come and get me, but he is their key lineman there. Moved from the right side over to the left side. Really, really good player.
Fortunately for you, if you ever did say something bad, we're on the 7th floor. It'd take him quite a while to get up here. 3rd down and 10. Kern surveying the scene. Has a man in and out of the hands of Merrill again. That one a little too tough to catch as it turned him around, and they will punt.
Well, a really good job also by the DB, Aaron Harris, of not panicking when the ball is coming to the receiver and didn't really allow a clean line of sight for the receiver to get the ball on that one. Number 4, Aaron Harris, running step for step. You see, he doesn't panic. He stays right there. Almost an opportunity to come up with that one, but really nice job of not getting a penalty flag in that situation.
Monte Jones is back to receive the kick from Mora. 3 possessions for Kern, 1 touchdown, a couple of first downs. And that one looks like it's going to land in the end zone or on the one, and it checks up. We'll see where they mark it. And they are calling the touchback. Nearly a perfect punt from Ivan Mora. He had 21 punts down inside the 20 last season, top 20 nationally.
Kern almost had another big play too with Walker Merrill, and this is a really nice punt. Almost, it hits that black. I see the little black pop up. So it'll be interesting to see the quarterback rotation for Wake after that series. Kind of keeping an eye on that, but Kern, deep ball ability, I could see that watching film last year. The limited time that he got to play and some of the things you heard from the coaches about his camp. That's one of the things that he does a pretty nice job of.
Well, we'll see what North Carolina A&T can do now. On their third possession, Kevin White remains at quarterback. Kenji Christian, the running back to his right. Three receivers at the top of your screen. Christian gets the handoff. Gets his way about a 4-yard gain. Eldrick Robinson the second with the stop. Call it a gain of 5 for North Carolina A&T.
With KJ or Kevin White, his ability to get outside the pocket is one thing that I thought we would see a little bit of, because if you stay in one spot, this defensive front knows where you are and they can get to you pretty quickly.
Offensive coordinator David Marsh called it a 3-man race early on, but it was White's job here. And that quick pass to the near side, Javon Dillard. One of the unknowns on this team, how he was going to perform, but good enough fall camp, getting the start tonight. And Dylan Hazen with the stop. Bring up a 3rd down and about 1.5 yards.
Yeah, he didn't play last year, redshirted, but had a really, played some special teams early in his 4 games or however many you get, but playing well in camp, and you can see why they like him. A nice size, 6'2", 205.
3rd down and short. The give, tripped up, might have gotten the 1st down. Kenji Christian, Devon Patterson on the stop, and that'll be the first down for the Aggies tonight.
Devon Patterson was a name that we heard from Brad Lambert, 13. His ability to get in there and really get after the run. He's also good in coverage. They really like his athleticism, and you can see that power right there. He sized it up. 13 came in and brought a little wood.
1st and 10 now from the Aggies. The FCS Colonial Athletic Association. Short gain there from Christian. This was a team last season that went 1-10, averaged fewer than 105 passing yards per game, one of the worst in the country. And they've got enough weapons, they think, to improve on that this season.
And this is a program that had a lot of pride. I mean, you think about Aggie pride is how they describe it. They haven't played well, especially last year, but they want to see that get back to a level of respectability.
2nd down and 9. White rolling, finds his man. That's a 1st down. And we mentioned some of the talent. Jakari Caldwell fits the mold. The redshirt junior out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. A former South Carolina Gamecock that is now starting to look like a power player.
Yeah, and Northwestern High School, which has a lot of talent that comes out of that Rock Hill area, but they really like what he can bring to this offense.
Gain of 16, their longest play of the night, and a nice run play by Wesley Graves, getting some good blocking up front. Hazen on the stop.
And the thing that you have to guard against is that there's a young secondary. Both of the corners, the corner, Capone Blue, is new, but he's been around, played a lot. But the other part of their secondary, they're a little worried about. Their interior guys are good, but the corner position, especially Glasgow, who hasn't played a whole lot, is one that they think, if you're North Carolina A&T, you'll probably try to go after.
3 receivers set here for Kevin White and the Aggies. That was Jones in motion, the give to Graves, who was knocked down after a gain of 2 by Quincy Bryant, the 4th-year player out of Lilburn, Georgia.
That's the one thing this defense did. It gave up about 154 yards on the ground last year, which wasn't as good as this Wake Forest defense had been in those years when they had been winning and competing for the championships. And that's another thing they want to do. This front 4 and front 7 is really, really solid, but they've got to make sure you get this team off the field on 3rd down.
3rd down and 4. 4 receivers set. Graves to White's left. Caldwell at the top of your screen. And a whistle.
A lot of confusion, Matt. Good to call that timeout and make sure you have things taken care of before you make that play.
Big third down coming up for Vincent Brown and his North Carolina A&T Aggies. Pretty good drive so far. Find out how it ends next. Wake Forest out of the ACC, North Carolina A&T out of Coastal Athletic Association. Both teams trying to turn the page from a subpar season, to say the least, from a season ago. And now North Carolina A&T facing a 3rd down and 4 with quarterback Kevin White. 4 receivers set. Graves in the backfield. White over the middle, finds his man, catching it to the ground is Jamison Warren for a big 1st down for the Aggies.
They said he would play early. He came back from an injury and is a guy they really like in those 3rd down situations. KJ White, Kevin White able to get the ball, a nice throw. Throw it down where only your guy can go get it.
3 first downs on the drive here for the Aggies.
And this keeps the Wake Forest offense on the sideline, which you got to come away with points in these kind of games.
And off to Graves. Graves with some running room. Gets the 1st down. Closing in on the 20-yard line. Nick Anderson with the stop. That defensive front chewed up for 14 yards.
Man, Graves, when he gets those legs going, you know, look at that. Right, hits the hole hard, and he's going downhill. Guys are catching him instead of running through him. Nick Anderson there on the stop, but he's not able to deliver a blow.
Graves running behind his pads, finding some open space. And another fresh set of downs here for the Aggies. White looking back across the field and throws this to an empty space. Pressured by Dylan Hazen, the linebacker, brings up 2nd and 10.
This offensive line coached by a guy that I played with in Indianapolis, Ron Mattis. Felt like they've really improved, but they were going to have to be. But you can see this pressure coming fast. Hazen again getting in there, doing a nice job. 3 quarterback hurries last year. That's one right there, and a guy that can get after you. A lot of tackles. He's a tackling machine for this Wake Forest team.
11th play of the drive. Kenji Christian now in the backfield. Gets the handoff. Oh, and eludes a tackler. He's inside the 10. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Aggies. .21 yards for the score.
Really good block by Javon Dillard, but a missed tackle by Devon Patterson in the hole created that long touchdown run for the Aggies. Watch this block there, but the hole, you got to make that tackle, and if you don't, that guy's running, and you can see the block down the field, which allows you to get in to the end zone for 6.
Andrew Brown will try and tie this up with the point after, and does. 7 apiece. 2.5 to go in the 1st.
Matt, the way the defense is designed, you always have a guy that can come and fill that hole, right? And you've got to make that tackle. So watch 13 in the hole, just miss it, and then the blocking downfield. Kenji Christian, the guy from Virginia Tech that can run the football, knows how to play. That drive was really nice by that offense for A&T. They took their time. They were methodical. They kept the 3rd down short. Dave Clawson said our defense has to do a better job this year of getting off the field on 3rd down.
Remember, this North Carolina A&T with new offensive coordinator David Marsh, he led the #1 rushing offense in the SWAC last season at Texas Southern. So the other coaches for Wake Forest, it's kind of a guessing game about what they're going to do, but they had to watch a lot of TSU football.
Yeah, 7 runs for 49 yards on that drive. And what that does is that gets your defense off kilter, because they now have to say, okay, we know they can throw the football, but if we are not stopping the run, that's a double whammy.
North Carolina A&T ties this one up here in Winston-Salem. Brown set to kick this off. Damon Claiborne ready to return for Wake Forest. Claiborne catches it at the 2. The 15 and hit hard. He will not get to the 20. Stephen Davis the second, the first man in. And Wake Forest backed up inside the 20 after the return of 15.
Yeah, I think the Wake Forest coaches were telling us exactly how they felt. They said, hey, this is going to be a tough game. And it's going to be tough for us because we don't know this team. We don't know. They've got a lot of P4 guys that have come in and that can play. They've got some talented individuals. We're going to have to match up and really play hard.
Well, Michael Kern is out. Hank Bachmeier is in. We were told a few series for Kern and then a few series for Hank Bachmeier, and then they'll make decisions after that. The very experienced Bachmeier steps back, clean pocket, has a man downfield, and good coverage there by Karan Prunty. As it was intended for Fields. That's about as good as it gets for that defensive back.
Hey, they can boo all they want. I saw this when he was a freshman at Kansas. Karan Prunty is the legit player. Watch him run with him, and he just stays there. Ooh. He touches a little bit, but they let you get away with that.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
Second down and 10 for Bachmeier. Bachmeier going through his progressions, now a little bit under duress, and we'll have to throw this one away.
The other thing about that, Matt, on that particular play, he didn't grab and pull. So that was one of the only reasons why I think they didn't pull the flag out. Wake fans don't want to hear that, but.
Hank Bachmeier, 38 games played coming into tonight. This is 39th and 6th active career passing yards leader in all of college football. He's going to have to air it out again at 3rd down and 10. Bachmeier trying to extend the play and finds Morin. Was he in bounds? He was. First down.
Good job by Morin of staying alive, and Bachmeier getting out of the pocket after 2 incomplete passes in a row.
Bachmeier, Boise State to Louisiana Tech, here to Winston-Salem. A gain of 2 from Tate Carney. And you would assume, you know, with these transfer quarterbacks, you think, oh, he transferred, he's got a lot of experience, he's going to get the start, he's going to be the guy. Not so fast. This competition continues tonight.
Well, and it gives you an opportunity to do that because you haven't had a game until tonight.
Bachmeier pulls it back, has a man over the middle at the 30. Oh, in and out of the hands from Micah Mays Jr., a guy that they've been excited to watch. Had no catches last season as a redshirt freshman, got minimal time, was a little banged up, and they're really looking to see what he can provide.
Slow mesh, take their time, but again, Aaron Harris doesn't panic, gets his hand up there. As soon as the ball reaches, the receiver reaches for the ball, he goes after it. Really good job so far by these defensive backs.
2 for 4 on 3rd down so far is Wake, and Bachmeier, was he grabbed by the face mask? No flag, and he's taken down for the sack. That's Joshua Hardy, the redshirt sophomore, former Boston College Golden Eagle, and that brings up 4th down for Wake Forest.
Another one of those P4 guys, but Josh Hardy able to get that paw out there. I thought it was face mask.
Bachmeier is pointing to the screen, saying, how are we punting? We should have a first down.
Well, when he was pulled back right away, I said, that's a face mask. I didn't need to have the replay on that. They totally missed that.
Monte Jones set to return now with his toes on the 39-yard line. Tough break for Wake Forest, but the Aggies applying that pressure. Jones tries to track it down. He'll let it bounce, and that's a great one.
Really good punt.
How about flipping the field inside the 10 as Mora does it again. His 5th straight season as the starting punter. He's not giving up that job.
That's why he's on the Ray Guy Award watch list. He had a 64-yarder last year. That was 66. Wow. I don't get excited about punters, but I am for him.
I was going to say, calm down. Just a punter, but good to see you excited.
Hey, the defense has to get excited because now you're in a different position. What you need to do if you're Wake Forest, stop the run so that way they get in 3rd and long, and then you have a chance to tee off on Kevin White.
Kevin White. Nice drive in the last drive, which led to the game-tying touchdown.
That offensive line of Cesar Monaro, Corian Sharp, R.J. Adams, Brock Stoops, Jason Ivey did a nice job on that last drive. Let's see how Wake Forest responds to that.
Kevin White, the sophomore. Newport News, Virginia, gives it to Graves. Graves with a nice run, running behind his pads. Nick Anderson brings him down after a gain of 5.
Doing a really nice job, Matt, of getting 4 or 5. And Corian Sharp in that gap scheme gets around there and goes and looks people up and finding different ways to get them into second level.
Now, if you were Vincent Brown and you were told before the game you're going to be tied at 7 after the first quarter, you take that?
I would take that all day long.
Wake Forest getting this season started out with a DeMond Claiborne touchdown. A little inconsistent on offense, trying to find their footing, but so far, North Carolina A&T and Kenzie Christian keeping pace. The score is even, the stats are even. Matt Schick, Charles Arbuckle. We begin the second quarter. The Aggies hanging with the Demon Deacons in this season opener.
Yeah, they're doing a really nice job, and that offensive line has been very effective. Running the football, 11 rushes, 64 yards, a touchdown, 5.8 yards per carry is the difference to me in this game so far.
Graves in the backfield with Kevin White. White, he's got some athleticism, gets a key block. He's going to have a first down, crosses the 20-yard line. Kevin White got a good block there by Joshua George, gain of 8.
Yeah, and when you have a guy out in front and doing those kind of things, it allows you to find your area. Josh George, a big tight end for him. They really like him. And talking to Nate Poole before the game, he said, our guys have to block. The only way we can win this game and compete is if we block downfield.
Nate Poole, the wide receivers coach there for North Carolina A&T. Great conversation pregame with him. Graves with a little shiftiness, but Nick Anderson stops in for a short gain of 2.
Been doing this so long, Matt. I used to call Nate's games when he was at Marshall.
You know, you've been doing it for a while, and you're getting up there when you're shaking hands with guys you played with, Charles Arbuckle.
Ron Mattis, the offensive line coach, and I had some great times in Indy. And we played against Bruce Smith one time, and he said, Buck, you got to stand and help me. Because Bruce was upset with him for something that happened in Seattle.
Nobody could bend and move like Bruce Smith and Buffalo Bills. How about Graves sneaking through the pile? That'll bring up a third and very manageable. Bryce Gaines with the stop, gain of 6.
Graves and Christian do a nice job of getting through the hole. Look at this offensive line. They're just doing a nice job of coming off in that zone. And then he finds a little seam on the backside. You've got to press that if you're the defender, so he can't find ways up the field.
Graves 8 carries for 37 yards already. We've just begun the second quarter. 4 receivers set. Graves in again. White on third down. White, he could take that first down himself. Instead throws it to Caldwell, who's got those sure hands and picks up the first down. That's something that Jakari Caldwell, the former South Carolina Gamecock, has really improved upon, getting those strong hands, taking down those 50-50 balls.
Well, he played hurt last year. His wrists or something in his hand. But you see right there, Matt, really nice job of going and attacking the football. That could have been an interception or a turnover or a PBU. But Caldwell does a nice job of plucking that out of the air.
Corian Sharp heads to the sidelines. That offensive line, Spencer Webb is now in. White's got some room to run. He crosses the line. Now he's asking for some help, and he is brought down hard. That's Evan Slocum with the stop, the 4th-year player. With 29 tackles a season ago, the senior makes the stop.
Yeah, nice job by the defense of stringing him out. Kevin White has to do a job of just go and get yards that you can get. Look, really nice job. You can see Davis chasing him. He's got Slocum chasing him. And when you have that, just go up the field. Don't go to the sideline. But very nice job of the Wake Forest defense of forcing him out.
Third different running back now in the game here. Number 28, Shamik Blizzard out of Chesapeake, Virginia. Number 28 in white right next to Kevin White. 4 receivers in the pattern. White in the middle, and that is hauled in for the first down. What a tough catch by Laquan Vini, who's really come out of nowhere, according to his coaches. Gain of 12.
And these guys are making plays. They're being contested balls. And really nice throw by Kevin White to get the ball in there. Evan Slocum says, hey, I'm here. I'm getting ready to make the tackle and break this up. But Vini says, no. Really good job of competing on that catch.
The worst passing offense in the country last year. North Carolina A&T getting it done with the pass here on this drive. White with the handoff to Graves. Across midfield. Nick Anderson again with the stop.
And what it does is it frustrates the defense for Wake Forest, but it also keeps the offense on the sideline. An offense that wants to get out there and wants to play their quarterbacks. And A&T says, hey, we have a different idea of what we want to do. We came right up from Greensboro over here, not to just, you know, make a little money. We came to play, and they're competing.
Nick Anderson with 7 tackles already. Second down and 9 here for the Aggies. Nice snap. Christian's got some room to run. Avoids the shoestring tackle, but eventually taken down at the 40, right around the first down. That's Sedarius Kelly there with the stop, but that will move the chains. Gain of 9.
We talked to Glenn Spencer right before we came back up, and that was the one thing he said. These games are ones where we got to make tackles from the linebacker position and everybody, and you just don't know what's going to happen. Eldrick Robinson with the miss on the interior, and that gave a big gain to Christian.
Christian again in the backfield has the touchdown for the Aggies. White rolling, finding his big man on the near side. That's Nicholas Dobson. And pushed out of bounds shy of the first down, but another good gain in the passing game, a gain of 8.
Looks like Marsh has found something for Kevin White, getting him out of the pocket, making him move, playing horizontal football, and then they attack vertically when they need to. It's causing some problems for this Wake Forest defense. They've got to figure out how to make this A&T offense and how to figure it out and slow it down.
Nicholas Dobson, you saw him kind of limber off the field a little bit, one of the team leaders here at that tight end spot. Christian takes the handoff, gets by a tackler, through another one, foot down to the 22-yard line. Evan Slocum on the stop, but another first down after the gain of 10, an injured lineman in the backfield for the Aggies.
Well, and you've got a guy that's able to stick the foot in the ground and go, Evan Slocum there, but you can't afford to lose any offensive lineman. A&T has a guy that's down now, Brock Stux.
Yeah, he's replacing Lawrence LeGrone, one of the strongest players on the team last season. Stooks is down on the ground. We'll check in with him next. Aggies driving. Brandon Stooks is on the sideline in the medical tent. He was rolled up on. He and this offensive line, a big reason why this offense has been able to churn up the yards. A drive that started on their own 8 has lasted more than 6 minutes. A combined 10 first downs in their last 2 drives.
Putting it together, Matt, at the right time against this defense.
Spencer Webb, the right guard, now checks in, and that ball sails over the head of White, and all he can do is cover it at the 40-yard line. They had first down and 10 at the 22, and that is a loss of 18.
Yeah, the captain, Cesar Monaro, generally a very secure guy, but he's moving to his left, and the ball just takes off. Kevin White had no chance. He had to be about 6'13" to go get that one.
You're in field goal range, and now you're near midfield. First negative yardage play for the Aggies here. White, to his tight end, that's Dobson again. Dobson again, there's a big guy who loves contact, and showing why, crosses the 30-yard line as Branson Combs missed that tackle and allowed Mr. Dobson to scamper for 10.
Yeah, they were really excited to see Branson Combs, who's a guy that has transferred in. But Dobson does a nice job of catching the ball and running through the tackle.
Great story about Nicholas Dobson. They said he was out wide in camp, and on the second play, he came in and said, can I just run some power, please? Can I be in tight? I want to block. I want something.
He wanted to go put his hand in the dirt.
That's right. Third down and 18. White looking. White in some trouble. He's going to tuck it. He's going to run. Crosses the 25, crosses the 20, and back to about where they were before. Dylan Hazen with the stop on the big hit on White.
And it gets him back into an opportunity to try for a field goal.
Wesley Graves had a really good block on that play, a gain of 11. And we'll see what they decide to do here. Andrew Brown made 24 field goals the previous season, a couple of years ago, and it's going to be out there again as they do go for the lead.
This 2023 season.
I had a knee injury last year. You can see the brace on his left knee. A 38-yard attempt here to give the Aggies the lead in Winston-Salem. A flag on the play. That was offsides on Wake Forest. The field goal is good, and now you have a decision to make.
Yeah,
probably take the points.
You probably take the points here, but that was clearly offsides on Wake Forest.
Yeah, that would. It was 4th down and 9 at the time.
It'd be a little different if it was 4th and 5 or 4th and 4 for sure.
Coach Brown asking, where would that put us? What would that give us? I think at this point you take the points. See if there was a running into the kicker as well. There are 2 flags on the field. Jamari Glasker collided with Brown, the kicker.
On the play, both by the defense. Offside, number 25, running into the kicker, number 25. Both fouls are declined. The result of the play was a made field goal. Timeout.
But it was good that Coach Brown got the clarification before he made the decision.
An 8.5-minute drive. And North Carolina A&T has made the drive from Greensboro, and right now they got a 3-point lead.
They're not upset. Aggie pride.
North Carolina A&T with a 10-7 lead on Wake Forest. The Aggies coming from 30 miles east of here. A bunch of fans making that trip. And the last time these two teams faced was back in 2004, 20 years ago. And it was a blowout win for Wake Forest. This anything but midway through the second quarter.
No, this is a team that came to compete. Coach Brown, when we talked to him, he said this is a situation where we're gonna play hard. You know, and he kept talking about them really looking for the CAA season, but he said we got to start tonight, and you can see that happening in Winston-Salem.
Kicking it away, a fair catch inside the 2.
Now I expect Devontae Gordon, Luke Pettibone, and Eric Russell, and Nick Sharp, and all that offensive line wants to come out and establish themselves. The Beef Boys is what they call themselves. They have to come off the ball now and create some lanes for this running game.
And again, out at quarterback again for Wake Forest is Hank Bachmeier. Mon Claiborne in the backfield. And if you're Dave Clawson, what are you calling here? What do you want to see here on this drive?
I want to see us run the football effectively if I'm the offensive coordinator and I'm Dave Clawson, and I also want to see us complete passes when we have those opportunities.
Hank Bachmeier, more than 8,600 career passing yards. This his 3rd stop from Louisiana Tech to Boise State. Here to Wake Forest. Claiborne trying to make something happen. Gain of about 5 yards. Ty Williams Jr. with the stop.
Against a team that last year they've changed also, but they gave up a lot of yards on the ground. I think established that for anybody that's playing the quarterback position.
Claiborne again. Claiborne to the near side, finds some running room and crosses midfield. He's got 1 man to beat. He's at the 30, tries to cut back inside the 20-yard line. Great block by Harry Lodge to help spring up for a gain of 48.
I love it when tight ends get involved and you said, what do they need to do? Run the football. Well, Harry Lodge is going to show you why. 89, watch this block out there in front. And you also have Taylor Morin in the blocking as well. But you got to hit that pressure point. That was a nice job by Claiborne.
Bachmeier over the middle, finds his man. That's Fields with some open field and around the 10-yard line. Featherstone with the stop, and now this Wake Forest offense starting to go.
Man, they lull you to sleep and then over the top on you. I mean, they just hold that ball for so long, and then it opens spaces. Bachmeier now on the attack.
Gain of 15. Claiborne again with him. There's Morin in motion. And pre-snap penalty.
I think it might be against the defense.
Bachmeier is pointing over there.
Number 74, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
And usually when they're pointing like that, they were saying somebody drew us offsides, but it was Luke Pettibone, the center.
Luke Pettibone, great pedigree. His grandfather, Richie Pettibone, was a 14-year safety in the NFL, long-time defensive coordinator under Joe Gibbs. There with Washington in the NFL. Bachmeier to the outside to his big tight end inside the 10. That's Lodge again. And a man is down here for the Aggies. There is a flag on the play.
Player down and a flag on the play.
Donovan Green may have had a block in the back. Perhaps some interference on the play. We'll wait for the call, but a man is down for the Aggies.
Donovan Green getting an opportunity to play. Said he wasn't going to play a whole lot coming back from injury. Generally in that kind of situation, you can see a pick. We call it a rub on the offensive side, but the defense calls it a pick.
Read the lips, illegal blindside block and a personal foul. And a related story, an Aggie is down. We'll look at the play.
Influence block right there by Lodge, and you can see Green coming in. Watch number 11. And David Laney, number 7. Back years ago, that was completely legal. But when guys can't see and they're running to you, you cannot hit them like that.
David Laney, his 3rd year with the program, former ECU Pirate. Speaking of ECU, that's the last FBS team that North Carolina A&T has defeated in its history. That was back in 2018. They're 3-8 all time against FBS teams.
Well, they got it in the 1st and goal. Now they're 1st and goal at the 24-yard line. You're going the wrong way.
Much like what happened to the Aggies when they got pushed back. They had to pick up some yards and kicked a field goal to take the lead. 1st and goal. You never want to see this if you're the team on offense. 1st and goal from the 24-yard line.
Not many plays in the playbook for that.
They got a few to get there. We'll see what they decide to do here. Bachmeier. Green off to the far side, picking up some yards, churning some yards, and he's free! Donovan Green! Touchdown, Wake Forest! Welcome back, Mr. Green!
Well, you got to love the Green machine because he's been waiting for an opportunity. He just had a penalty flag. Okay, let's get him the ball, get him in space, and man, did he take it to the house. Good blocking here again. You got offensive linemen out there. You've also got a tight end, but Donovan Green says, okay, I got to get to the house. I haven't done this in a while.
24-yard catch and run, got some good blocks, made it happen. Donovan Green, that's 26 straight games with a catch dating back to 2 years ago. Did not play last year because of an injury.
Keegan Trost and Harry Lodge getting good blocks. 89 and 71 have shown up blocking today, and you got to love it when you get outside and your guy can go to the house like this. Look at everybody. Donnie, we see you. You're back, baby.
See it, Green. Wake Forest with the touchdown takes the lead over North Carolina A&T 14-10. Matt Chick alongside Charles Arbuckle. This receiving core for Wake Forest kind of decimated a little bit with the transfer portal. They lose guys like Jamal Banks to Nebraska, Wesley Grimes, Keyshawn Williams, but they got Green when he's healthy. They need him to be healthy. He's missed the better part of a couple of seasons during his time, and Morin is going to be a go-to guy.
They really are. They expect a lot from both of those guys and the tight end position as well. They've got a host of receivers on this Wake Forest team, and usually when they've played well, they've been able to find guys on the outside.
Donovan Green, how nice is it to have him back if you're a Wake Forest fan? They didn't know how many snaps they give him tonight, maybe 30 to 35 snaps. He's missed part of camp. He's, again, missed the entirety of last season with an injury. Also missed 2021 with an injury. This is 6th season with the program.
Yeah.
Like, he's been there a while, just hasn't played enough.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why they were very protective in spring and fall, to make sure he was able to get here tonight and be able to play effectively.
20 yards a reception over his career. That's the highest mark in program history, minimum of 25 catches. That one over the middle. He's got his man. Caught past midfield. Javon Dillard. Tongue may have prevented the touchdown. A gain of 27. Not sure you expected that on first down.
Well, they came right after him. Seam route right down the middle, and really nice throw by Kevin White again. Dillard almost did not catch that clean, but he was able to, and then Tongue comes over and lays a shot on it.
And now North Carolina A&T again. Last couple of drives, 10 first downs. None on their first 2 drives after a pair of 3-and-outs. They have found their footing in the passing game. The worst passing offense in the country a season ago. Trying to go sideline to sideline. That's Christian, knocked out of bounds. Turns something negative into something positive. Tongue again pushes him out, gain of 3.
And Matt, you talked about this Texas Southern offense that's brought here. When I watched it, you could just see some of the principles now starting to show up. David Marsh felt really comfortable with the people that he had here and what they could do, and they're really starting to get after this Wake Forest defense. Got him off kilter.
Kevin White, what a job he's done. Started 0 for 3 passing. Since then, he's 8 for 9. Wesley Graves now in the backfield, 4 receiver set.
And they moved him out of the pocket to get him away from the rush. We haven't seen the impact of this front line.
Graves fighting his way near the 40-yard line. Will bring up a 3rd down and about 3 or 4. Dylan Hazen with the stop, and this becomes a very large play here with a little over 3 minutes to go in the half.
And what it's also doing, Matt, is it's making you not bring that extra man because you've been attacking them in the secondary, so you have to respect the pass game, and it's allowing David Marsh and this offense to find gaps in the defense to get some nice yards on the ground.
They've converted 3 of their last 4 third downs. That's 3rd down and 4. Right here for the Aggies from Greensboro. White rolling to his right, has a man in and out of the hands of Amonte Jones, the junior out of Chesapeake, Virginia, leading receiver from a season ago, and just could not come down with it.
Well, that's one of those you want back if you're A&T, but again, you give the ball back to Wake Forest, and you got to find a way to stop them with 2 minutes and 54 seconds.
Their best offense, their best defense has been their offense for North Carolina A&T, just churning up these yards and keeping the ball away from Wake Forest. Taylor Morin now set to punt this ball away. Taylor Morin, excuse me, receiving the ball at the 15. That was Andrew Brown kicking that away. Punt of about 27 yards. And now Wake Forest, who we were told, look, you're going to get a few series for Kern, you're going to get a few series for Bachmeier, and we anticipate Bachmeier here with his 3rd series, and we'll finish out the half. How would you compare the 2 quarterbacks right now?
You know, it looks, there've been some good things from both, but I think that last drive was impressive with how quickly that Wake Forest team went down the field, and I think a lot of it was compared because the ground game churned up a lot of yards for them.
Bachmeier and Claiborne. Less than 3 minutes to go. The slow mesh. Claiborne has it. Stutter step, crosses the 20. And Picks up about 9 yards. Cameron Maddox with the stop.
Le'Veon Bell used to lull people to sleep, but this one by Claiborne, watch how long he, 1, 2, 3, oh, okay, I'm gone. And the offensive line just slowly marches down the field to create lanes for him to run the football.
Claiborne again. Claiborne, look at that stutter step. Another first down as he picks up 9 yards. He's just so elusive and quick and dynamic.
I'm not comparing him to Marshall Faulk.
You just did. You just
no,
did.
I'm not.
You
But
said
Marshall
his
had
name.
That, no, look, he had that ability to just get in the hole and make moves like that. The 2-minute timeout.
Timeout, 4-point lead here for Wake Forest. Dave Clawson and his offense trying to add to that before the half. Yeah, the quarterback battle, Michael Kern and Hank Bachmeier, both with very similar nice smiles and white teeth, and both with similar performances so far tonight.
They both played pretty well. I would say this, though, that last drive by Hank Bachmeier, the running game got going for Wake Forest, and it made all the difference for them to get down the field effectively and score.
They've had a punt and a touchdown in Hank Bachmeier's first 2 possessions. Here he is with his third with less than 2 minutes to go. Bachmeier to the far side finds his man. That should be close to a first down. That's Donovan Green, who finds some opening and continues to churn and stay in bounds. Green was not going down without another fight. He is tough to bring down. Isaiah finally did.
Yeah, Sumter was there but couldn't bring him down, and Isaiah was finally able to corral him.
Gain of 13. You wonder if this Aggie defense starting to wear down a little bit. Look at that slow mesh, that little walk up. Bachmeier airmails his intended receiver, Deuce Alexander.
You can just see his experience of having 37 career starts and playing football. He came in and he got more time in the spring because Kern had a thumb injury or was injured for part of the spring, so he got a lot more of the snaps than he normally would have in the spring.
That stopped a streak of 4 consecutive completions. Bachmeier over the middle. Bachmeier spins out of trouble. Crosses midfield. Nearly has a first down. Shoved out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Be about a yard shy.
Yeah, you can even see when he's taken off, Bachmeier is going to still look down the field or try to get a pass off. Really close to that first down there.
Bachmeier, who spent last season at Louisiana Tech, at 8 starts, more than 2,000 yards passing.
But this offensive line does a nice job of, you don't see them going down the field. It's almost like an NFL situation where they only go about a yard, so they, with that slow mesh, they're able to be patient.
We're down in 1. Claiborne stop, did not get there. Going to bring up a 4th down with a little more than a minute to go here.
Really nice job on the interior.
Bachmeier saying we got to go. We're absolutely going here. He's calling the shots, and I'm sure Dave Clawson saying, yeah, it's 4th and 1. We're going to take our shot here.
Malagor, Trey Mittman, they had a bunch of guys in the mix there to stop that play.
We'll see if they drag this out a little bit, see if they actually snap it or call a timeout here and talk this over. Look, 50 seconds to go. 4th down and 1 here at the 45-yard line. They do go for it, and Claiborne has it.
Initially, I thought they were going to try to draw him off sides, but then they went. Claiborne was able to get there behind that left side of the line of scrimmage with Devontae Gordon and then also the 2 tight ends.
And a timeout. Timeout here for Wake Forest with a 14-10 lead here on North Carolina A&T. How would you assess the Demon Deacons' performance through nearly a half?
You know, there's been some struggles for them in the run game. Offensively, though, they've had some explosives, which I've liked. And that was the one thing they wanted to see, guys not dropping balls but getting down the field. There were a couple of missed opportunities there. But Claiborne has been everything that's been advertised. He has been that guy. And even when Tate Carney comes in, he's given them that second guy off the bench and ability to change a pace.
Well, last season, just very un-Wake Forest, like 6 games under 17 points. Here they are, 14-10. And those big plays have been there. We've got 5 passing plays of 15 or more yards. Tate Carney now in the backfield, giving Claiborne a blow. 39 seconds to go. Bachmeier. That one is tipped at the line and nearly picked off.
Well, that's interesting, Matt. Wake Forest needs to score some points because we know this offense for A&T will come out at the second half and they'll get an opportunity. This is key for Wake Forest here to come away with 3 or 7.
DeAndre Dingle-Price batted that one down, the transfer from App State. And now a second down. Bachmeier looking downfield. Nobody's open. Tried to throw it to his intended receiver on the near side. That was Deuce Alexander, but unable to make the diving catch. It's third down.
Pretty good coverage there by the secondary. And Trey Mittman being one of those guys, the backup free safety. They've done a nice job of matching up and making some plays on this drive.
This becomes a big play here for both teams. Third down and 10, less than 30 seconds to go in the half. Bachmeier, the swing pass over the far side, making a man miss, picking up the first down is Deuce Alexander. We've called his name a couple of times, the redshirt freshman who is the furthest ahead of the young guys, according to his head coach, Dave Clawson. Quick snap over to the far side, complete. That's that's Cameron Height, the tight end, who makes the catch.
Height had a good block on that last play, and I guess they figured we'd give him a bone there.
Gain of 6.
He's a do-everything guy. He plays tight end, but he could be fullback. He gets out and catches passes and does it all.
Timeout for the Aggies here. Sense a little bit of some
30-second timeout
here for the Demon Deacons.
Well,
18 seconds away from the first half being completed. Coming up at halftime, Justin Walters and the gang will be in the studio. Give some ACC playoff predictions and notable transfers. We're looking at a transfer right here. Hank Bachmeier could have a big impact on this season here in Winston-Salem.
You got a few. And I think that's been the key for this team, melding those guys into their team and giving them an opportunity to make some plays. Bachmeier's had a lot of football, has played a lot of football, and I think that gives him an understanding of how to look at this game, how to view it.
8,600 passing yards. This is 39th game that he's played in. 16th in active player and career touchdowns. One shy of the top 10 after his touchdown pass earlier. Bachmeier on second down, looking down the seam, looking down the far side, and that one is incomplete. No flag. Donovan Green looking for his second touchdown of the night. Aaron Harrison coverage.
Harris did about as well as you could. Stay with him. When the ball is up in the air, go attack it. Got there a little early. But it's been one of those nights where both teams seem to be getting away with that. And we've seen it a couple of times with that A&T ball club.
Between Harris and Prunty, a combined 50 starts between them. A lot of experience on the edge. Third down, Bachmeier finds his man in the slot, in the seam, got some room to run. That's Alexander again. Deuce Alexander, a man to remember after tonight. A gain of 10, first down. 6 seconds to go. They call a timeout. They've got one left.
The redshirt freshman who a lot of people around this program have been excited to watch and see how he would perform in game-like situations. He's been all that was advertised.
6 seconds left. Time for one quick play here, maybe one quick shot at the end zone. It's going to have to be quick.
Yeah, you have to do it quick. And yeah, I'd take that chance.
One timeout remaining here for Wake Forest. And they are going to send the kicking unit onto the field right now.
With the way this offense for A&T is playing, that's probably not a bad decision there, because I would have been more aggressive and maybe come away with no points.
That's why you're up here.
That's why I'm up here.
Got there 8 or 9 seconds maybe, but you got your chart, you got your 6 seconds, and now we're going to kick a 31-yarder here. And a timeout here for North Carolina A&T to Matthew Dennis to think about it.
30-second timeout.
Remember, the Aggies will get the ball first to start the second half, so even if this field goal does go through, it's a one-possession game and a chance to tie it up out of the locker room.
And the way their offense is played, it makes sense to go with points. Get the points when you can. And the secondary has played pretty well also.
North Carolina A&T, a record of 1-10 a season ago, 0-8 in conference play. Wake Forest certainly struggled last year as well, snapping a 7-game bowl streak. Lost 8 of their last 9 and 5 straight to end the season. Both teams trying to turn the page. Both teams with some room to grow here at the halftime.
Very much so, and it's one of those situations, first game jitters, a lot of new guys playing. You want to make sure everybody gets an opportunity, but you also have to come away with a W.
Matthew Dennis was 14 of 20 last year. Out of Myers Park High, Charlotte, North Carolina, the redshirt junior with his first field goal attempt of 2024. This one from 31 yards to give him a 7-point lead. It is up, and it is through. Matthew Dennis gives Wake Forest a 7-point lead. Couple seconds to go before we hit the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, the way this team has played, A&T, it was smart to get those points, but also, too, it gives you a chance for your kicking game to get involved. And now, if you're Wake, squib that ball, make sure they don't have anything big, and go into the locker room and make those adjustments. If you're A&T, you've got to feel pretty confident where you are right now, with this only being a one-score game.
14-play drive. 2 minutes, 46 seconds. It's pretty efficient. 72-yard drive. Culminates in a field goal from Matthew Dennis.
Both teams with some pretty long drives, sustaining drives as well.
Yeah. 15-play drive earlier for A&T to give them a 10-7 lead. Caleb Carlson will kick things off, perhaps squib things off. We shall see. Shamik Blizzard and Daniel Coles are back there to receive for the Aggies what is likely the final play of this half. The squib picked up at the 35, picking up a block and tackled at the 40. North Carolina A&T will go into the locker room. It's a 7-point game. It's halftime. Our score: Wake Forest 17, North Carolina A&T 10. After this commercial break, we'll send you the ACC Network studio and join Justin Walters and the gang. We've got a game here in Winston-Salem.
Hope you enjoyed the first half. Welcome into the ACC Network studios. Cannot wait. Football's finally back, fellas. We are underway alongside Virginia Tech legend Eddie Royal. You have Clemson captain Eric McLean and Hall of Fame coach Mark Richt. I'm Justin Walters. It's time for a little bit of confidence.
Hey,
so EMAC, you're up first.
Come on.
All right, the first year that we're going to have 12 teams for the college football playoff. The ACC will send multiple teams to the CFP.
Ooh, I like that. You know where I'm going? 10 immediately with the confidence meter. That's how good I feel about this, boys, because the league is loaded, and we've got a lot of great players, a lot of great teams in the ACC right now. There's 4 off the top of my head that would fight for that spot when you're talking about a college football playoff. I think the 2 that are in the ACC championship, the winner and the loser, will be in the college football playoff.
I think it's going to be the winner and somebody else who's waiting by the wing.
I'm with you, Coach.
Because when you get beat in that game, sometimes that's the second or third loss, and all of a sudden it bumps you out. But there'll be somebody else who's close to getting in that would bump up to that second spot.
I agree. I think it'll be the next team that should have probably been in that game but didn't, and they'll probably get in. But I do agree it'll be 2.
I like that.
All right, so
we're all
you guys
saying 10?
you're not as high as 10, or you? 10 is pretty high. So 10, 8-ish.
We can't say ish on this show, so I'd say an 8.
I'm an 8 as well.
All right, everybody's over a 5. I like that. All right, next up, this is the most wide open the ACC has ever been. What is your confidence meter on that, Eddie?
I went back and forth about this.
You did?
I did too many times.
Change your answer.
But I'm going to go with 6. I think 6 was my answer. So I'm going to go with 6 because I'm looking at my list, and I got 5 teams that could potentially win it all. And there's been so much turnover with the ACC, with the quarterbacks, and so much indecision. Like, you don't know who's who. So Cam Ward's in Miami, Grayson McCall's NC State, DJ Florida State. You just don't know what these teams are going to look like. So it's really a toss-up of who could win it. But I got 5 teams that I like.
Shout out to Boston College getting the first place vote.
And Georgia Tech. Whoever did that, take their voting away. But here's the deal.
Cal's up there.
Also, just rip those away. But here's the deal. You just said 5. To me, that's a 10 on my confidence meter. I'm going back-to-back because, Coach, you've obviously been around the game longer than we have and been in the ACC.
Right.
There's never been this where there's 5 or more teams.
I mean, for years it was Florida
2,
State
right?
and everybody else. It
Right.
was Clemson and everybody else. It was never Miami and anybody else. But for the most part, maybe 2 or 3 teams you think are fighting for it. There's at least 5, maybe 6, 7.
Wow.
Yeah,
So what are some
I'm
other
really
teams outside of your list that you just mentioned? Because you didn't mention Louisville. Remember, they were in the ACC championship. Yes, Tyler Shuck now there. Would you say honorable mention on your list would be Louisville?
Louisville, Syracuse, because you don't know.
SMU.
I say 5 right now, but then it'll dwindle down to about 3 later on in the year.
Right.
So
I agree with
that's
you.
why I'm at a
It's going to be
6.
fun to see.
Yeah.
It is. It is talking season, at least for early expectations. Still a lot of unknown answers. So, Coach, you're up next on the confidence meter. The ACC Player of the Year will be a transfer. Where are you on the confidence meter on that?
9, baby.
High up.
Mostly 9 because that was my college. No, I'm just kidding. 9 for sure. Maybe could have gone 10. The only reason why I didn't say 10 is Omarion Hampton.
Okay.
Not a transfer. He's a guy that could be. But look at it. Cam Ward, transfer. Kyle McCord, transfer. Grayson McCall, transfer. DJU, transfer. Max Johnson in North Carolina, a transfer. And Haynes King didn't transfer this year. He transferred the years before.
Okay.
Okay.
So he
Playing
counts.
around with the question. With the language.
So one of those guys, in my opinion, is going to be the Player of the Year.
What about your guy, Ott, out of California? You love that guy.
I wanted to write Ott in, but it wasn't quite a trade. His team is transferring in.
Oh.
And I almost put. If I'd have gone there, I'd have said Ott because I think Ott's the number 1 back.
Can I look at your bracket here again? Okay, quarterback. What the? It's not a quarterback award. What are we doing?
Yes, it is. It's
always
definitely a
is. It always
quarterback.
It
award.
feels like if someone is going to win this award being a transfer, it has to be Cam Ward. He was voted the preseason player of the year. How high are you on him getting that honor?
I'm pretty high. I'm about a 7 or 8, and that's really high because injuries could happen, new scheme, new everything, but he's that good to push me to an 8.
I think so as well. But I think just overall for this, I'm probably at a 5. I do think it's 50-50. And again, that's probably taking out
Who that's not
Omarion
a transfer?
Hampton excuse me. You could look at any Clemson guy. They don't take transfers. Are we just assuming Clemson's just going to be out of this thing?
Here's a look at some of
I
the
think there's
incoming
a handful.
transfers.
I struck a chord there.
Of course. Yeah, but I mean, you see all these guys, again, so many quarterbacks. The league is so deep.
Is that a
And
running back I actually
Martinez-
see on the list?
Dan
and a wide
Martinez is a
receiver?
beast.
Yeah.
He is.
He's got a good
Martinez
chance.
is a beast at Miami.
He's got just as good a
What
chance
was
of
that?
winning it as UNC.
Yeah,
Omarion Hampton.
Yeah.
I believe those 2 will be the 2. Ott's
Get
in
Ott.
there too.
Ott's
in
We got
there.
some good
And
backs.
Buffalo.
Forget about the
Have you
quarterbacks.
watched
Talk about the
Ott?
running backs in this
film?
division.
Have you watched film of Ott yet?
He's a beast.
He's
Oh
amazing.
my God.
That guy's
Phil
really
Maffa?
good.
I'm still laughing at the boxes that you check. You said this team transferred in. This person, well, he kind of was a transfer the year before, Coach. You had a very long, extended list. But, all right, your confidence meter is at a 9.
It is just going to be interesting to see because, again, quarterback, it's just become that with everything, right? The Heisman, Player of the Year awards. We're just so focused on that. But, Eddie, as
good
you were
reason.
just joking about, the running backs are so deep in this league. I mean, we could do another list of those guys, who's here, what they've been able to do. It's going to be a fun race. It really is to see who's going to be Player of the Year. We don't even talk about defensive guys. It's all
Hey,
offense.
shout out to
It's
Barrett
offensive
Carter.
work.
Come on now.
That's right,
There's
BC.
some dogs on the
Let's go,
defense.
BC.
Yeah, that's true.
How about an offensive lineman?
That'll never.
All right, we're going too far. Of course, we're going to have a lot of discussion, and one place you could always catch is ACC PM. Mark Packer weekdays with a rotation of co-hosts, including myself. You never know who's going to make an appearance. Football season is officially back. Hope you enjoy the second half.
The 12-team college football playoff is here. The 4 highest-ranked conference champions will get first-round byes, and the 8 teams seeded 5 through 12 will play at the host campus starting December 20th. From there, the playoff will play out as dictated by the bracket. The quarterfinals and semifinals will be played at traditional New Year's Six bowl game locations, and it all culminates with the national championship game on January 20th, only on ESPN.
January 20th, a ways away from tonight. We're in week 1 of the college football season. Wake Forest with a 17-10 lead over North Carolina A&T from the FCS. We're gonna have the second half coming up, but first some halftime stats, nuggets, analysis straight ahead as Wake Forest in a dogfight with the Aggies. Charles Arbuckle nearly wore the exact same thing as that man in the overalls. That would have been incredibly awkward. Wake Forest with a 17-10 lead on North Carolina A&T. We are at the half. Matt Schick along with Charles. And I'm not sure what we expected here. You know, in these first games in week 1, you're going to have some bumps along the way, some 3-and-outs to start, but eventually both teams found their groove.
Yeah, I expected A&T to really compete just from what they had on offense. I thought Wake Forest would have asserted their dominance sooner, but it looks like A&T is competing, and they're competing hard.
You look at some of the first half highlights. Again, a slow go for the offense early on, but then we did see Wake Forest and Devon Williams. Boy, he can move.
Oh, man, he's so good in the hole and able to just get by and make moves really quickly. And then Kenty Christian, one-man miss, gets to the house. And that's a nice run and gets them in position where they could tie that game up. I mean, and go tie the game up and then go ahead with the field goal.
That was an 8.5-minute drive that led to that field goal. And then Donovan Green, who missed all of last season with an injury, making up for lost time, 24 yards on the catch and run for the touchdown to make it 14-10. They kick a field goal at the end of the half to take a 17-10 lead. What stands out to you here?
Well, I would say the passing yards for Wake Forest and the rushing yards for A&T, but Keegan Truss on that block, on that touchdown by Donovan Green, had multiple blocks, and those are the things you have to look for. And in the red zone, 3 for 3, you've got to be happy if you're Wake Forest.
North Carolina A&T. The Coastal Athletic Association was 0-8 in conference play last season, 1-10 overall last year. Wake Forest missed out on a bowl game for the first time in 7 years last year, looking for their 19th consecutive win against FCS opponents. The Aggies have not beaten an FBS team since 2018. They're 3-8 all time. And we got ourselves a ball game as the Aggies are set to receive here to start the half.
You know, it was interesting what Dave Clawson said, being at Villanova, Richmond, and a couple of other FCS schools. He said, I have major respect for these teams that will come in, especially now that they have some P5 and other transfers that have shown up tonight. You've got to put these games away. And it's your first game, so you're trying to get things back in rhythm, Matt.
Hale Carlson is set to kick things off here for Wake Forest. And we will have a touchback to the point that you made. Dave Clawson giving great respect to North Carolina A&T. Just saying, look, in my FCS or 1AA days, I never had a more skilled offense than I had at Villanova back in 1997. It had Brian Westbrook, and Fitterin was a part of that. A couple of NFL tailbacks at Richmond, including Tim Hightower. There are guys that can play this game. You add in the portal, you add in guys that are formerly Power 4, you got a game.
And I saw them play when he was the head coach for Richmond, beat a Hampton team that was really highly ranked. And Stacy Tuitt, the quarterback, came out and came out and made plays. And those are the things you remember about these teams that get an opportunity.
All those passing yards for Kevin White. He's going to the air again, and that one is caught. Should be a first down or close to it. Jakari Caldwell, the former transfer from South Carolina, gain of 11. And right now, as we see North Carolina A&T with a man on the ground.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on the edge by Jacine Davis. Bull power move and gets around the edge. Kevin White is able to pop back up after that, but there is an injured Aggie.
It's R.J. Adams, the transfer from Georgia Tech. Pretty key in replacing Tariq Stewart, a big contributor. He's been a pleasant surprise this season as he's getting stretched out.
You know, you hope in these situations the bigger guys sometimes start getting cramps, and you hope that's all it is. I'm not going to speculate, but he has been a guy that they've been happy with so far in his toughness and hard-nosed approach to how he plays the game.
Of course, his former team with a big win last weekend against Florida State.
Yeah, that was a really good game, and I think all offseason I told people, don't sleep on Georgia Tech. They counter you, and they run, and their defense could play. They showed you what they could do, and I was a little bit shocked by how DJU played. I thought he would play better, but still a long season for both teams.
Let's go back to week 0. As we wait here as R.J. Adams is back on his feet. But what a start to the ACC, again with Mr. Burr winning the duel in Ireland 24-21, walking that one off. What a win for Brent King.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Now we're trying to do some plays on words. And of course, SMU had to come back against Nevada.
Russell Maryland's baby boy, R.J. Maryland. They had single coverage, and he was killing them in the fourth quarter. Tight end, by the way.
You will always acknowledge that. Sterling Wiggins is now in at right tackle to replace R.J. Evans after the first down. Quick pass over to the near side. That's Amonte Jones. And he's close to another first down. Devon Patterson with the tackle, gain of 9. So this is, again, was the worst passing offense in the country last season. Less than 105 passing yards per game. They are over that now as we start the third quarter.
David Marsh has some air raid principles. He's also the no zone. Noah Mazzoni, who he was with at UCLA, he's got a lot of principles in this offense.
White, pocket breaking down, and White going down. They will call it a sack. Justine Davis, first time we've called his name tonight. And that should go down as a sack. That'll be career sack number 21 for the Demon Deacons.
He had 3 against ODU last year, and he has gotten more consistent. And look at the power and the ability to just run over people. I mean, he had Jonathan Cannon on skates and just went straight through him. This is why there are a lot of scouts that we were going down on the field. You could see there's a lot of potential NFL talent. He's one of those guys.
Top 10 in tackles for loss a season ago. Top 5 career sack leader here at Wake Forest. And now third down for White. White's got time. White, he's got some room to run if he wants it. Hesitates. Now he's at the 40. He's well past the line of scrimmage. And that flag will come out at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, not a real smart play by White there.
And that, of course, is a loss of down. It'll bring up fourth down with the penalty. He had a lot of room, then hesitated a little bit.
Yeah.
You could see it collapse, and so could he, which is why he panicked and flipped it.
We saw that earlier.
Illegal forward pass beyond the line of scrimmage. Number 0, offense. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, plus loss of down, brings up fourth down.
We saw that in the first half when he did something similar. And, you know, at this point, the defense is going to converge on you, but clearly he was way over the line, and that was very good coverage also on the back end by that Wake Forest secondary.
Kevin White, pretty good night tonight. Ill-advised play there in a battle of field position, loses 5 yards. Could have picked up a handful of yards if he just run it, so that's a net 10-yard swing at least. Taylor Morin is set to receive this punt from Brown. Morin has it at the 28. Morin has got some room. Coming into the near side. He's got some blockers. Just the kicker to beat. To the 40, to the 30, to the 20. Morin spilling the end zone. Touchdown! "73 yards. Taking it to the house. And Wake Forest up double digits.
In games like this is where you get concerned. Special teams game. You kick it to that side of the field. There was a guy that had fallen down early, which created a lane. And Taylor Morin, who is a very good returner, has a convoy of blockers in front of him. They get a nice job with the wall. And you can see Alexander out there, all of those returners or the return team guys knew if we give him a little crease, he can take it to the house.
Moore, the fifth-year senior, gets it done in the receiving game, gets it done in the punt return game in Wake Forest with a 24-10 lead. Wake Forest football, it just means Morin. Touchdown, Wake Forest, up 2 scores. Wake Forest trying to open things up here. They've got a 24-10 lead on North Carolina A&T a couple of minutes into this third quarter. Again, there is some experience, some new players, but also some valuable experience. Morin with that punt return touchdown, Donovan Green with a touchdown, Davis with a sack.
Well, when you have guys that have played a lot of football, they understand when they have to make plays. And each of these young men, we've called their names tonight.
And for Wake Forest, that punt return touchdown by Taylor Morin was the first punt return touchdown for Wake Forest in nearly 6 years.
Wow. But what it does is it just gives you some momentum. And just seeing Deshaun Davis, what he was able to do on one of those bull rush plays and get a sack last drive has really started to play a role.
North Carolina A&T at one point led 10-7, 17 unanswered points for Wake Forest, and a quarterback change right now. We thought we'd see at least 2 quarterbacks tonight for North Carolina A&T. Here is Justin Fomby, the transfer from Houston Christian, who hands off to Wesley Graves and picks up a healthy gain of 8.
They have had a lot of success with that zone cutback play, and whether it's been Kenji Christian or Wesley Graves. Nice pickup of 8 on that carry.
Here's a look at Fomby. Watched him in pregame. Some really good zip on the ball. Had some injuries last year. Only played in 4 games with Houston Christian, but nearly 2,300 yards passing back in 2022. He could factor into this rotation this season, no question about it. And a nice second down run for a first down. Nick Anderson with the stop. That was Wesley Graves again.
Graves did a nice job running behind his blocker. Forced Nick Anderson to come in. We've called his name quite a bit. Played a lot of nickel last year. They got him at the free safety position.
Nick Anderson, 33 tackles last season. He might have that tonight. First down and 10 here for the Aggies. Fomby got some room there on the left side. Crossing midfield and another first down. Tackle from Anderson and Patterson. Maybe they found a little bit of something here with Fomby.
Fomby doesn't have the speed, but the decisiveness. And you can see again, you show the zone and pull that ball out. So instead of his RPO, a zone read where he can make the decision, and if that's safe, if everybody on that backside falls down, he's able to get outside, which he was able to do.
10 tackles now for Anderson.
He might have 20 tonight.
Not something you really want from the back end, but he'll play close to the line as well. He can play all over. Fomby. This man, that one might have hit the ground there. Jakari Caldwell unable to hold on to that one. Would have been another first down.
Anderson likes that because he played a lot of nickel last year. They can move him around. He's versatile enough. And then Devon Patterson has moved into that nickel position for him.
Kenji Christian now in the game. Has the lone touchdown for North Carolina A&T. The former transfer from Virginia Tech is the back behind Fomby. Christian gets the ball, gets some good blocking, spins his way across the 40, and that should be a first down. Anderson with the tackle. They will move the chains. And how about the elusiveness and the cutback ability from Christian?
Got to give some credit to Corian Sharp, 59, who they say looks like Suge Knight. Look at 59 in there. And he's getting in there. That's not Death Row Records, baby, but it is running downhill records on that one.
8 rushing first downs for the Aggies tonight.
They have found something in that interior of the defense that's really giving them some.
Kenji again. chunky gain on first down. Branson Combs with the stop.
Same thing. Corian Sharp, again, getting just kind of the fold, that gap scheme where you get that guy coming back, the guard moving around and being almost like a lead blocker for you. And he's able to just run that ball effectively.
Corian Sharp now out of the game. Spencer Webb comes in at right guard for North Carolina A&T. 2 receivers to the near side, including Dillard. Fomby under duress, going to have to get rid of it, and that should be just an incomplete pass. No grounding there, as you did see Kevin Pointer trying to get after him there. Pressured the throw. Javon Dillard, the intended receiver, on the near side, and now third down.
What did Brad Lambert say about J.D., Jasheem Davis, and Kevin Pointer, KP? Both play hard, and right there was a good example. When they saw that opening, man, they went after Fomby with the abandonment, reckless abandonment.
Wesley Graves now back in the game. You got to think this is 4-down territory for a team now that is down 2 touchdowns. Fomby is swallowed up. Kevin Pointer gets the sack along with the help of his Demon Deacons on that front line, a loss of 9.
Yeah, that front 4 is now understanding that, hey, we don't have Kevin White back there, but we're going to give you all kind of pressure inside stunt game, get after it, and they're just meeting at the quarterback. Hey, D-line, where are we going? We're going to number 4. Right now? Right now. And that's what they did.
Experience there on that front, defensive front. Kevin Pointer in his 6th year. Former transfer out of Louisiana Monroe. Sack and a half last season. He's got one here in the opener. And now a punting situation after the loss of 9. Taylor Morin is back to receive. Returned the last one to the house. Not going to return this one. Just going to fair catch it at the 12. Punt of 30, no return. Wake Forest up 2 scores, trying to make it more. We begin this second half. 8:54 to go in the third. It's a new year of college football. It's a new year in the ACC. Yeah, we're sprinkling. Yeah, we got the coast. We got the Atlantic coast. We got some Louisville. We got Miami. Oh, and we're expanding. Widen that out. 17 teams. Cal, Stanford, SMU. And those teams illustrated on the scoreboard here. NC State, Grayson McCall with a couple of touchdown passes for NC State, but they're in a dogfight with Western Carolina tied at 14. Just underway, Minnesota and North Carolina. And some other games coming up this weekend, Buck.
Yeah, I got TCU. Stanford is the one I want to see. Clemson and Georgia, of course. And Miami and Florida. Can't wait to check those out.
Well, Wake Forest and Hank Bachmeier back in at quarterback to start this second half. Shiftiness being shown by Javon Claiborne again, who has a touchdown tonight. Comparing these 2 quarterbacks, again, 3 drives apiece up to this point. 7 points for Kern, 10 points for Bachmeier. It does look a little different with Hank Bachmeier at quarterback.
Looks like they're settling in, getting more of a rhythm right now.
And off to Claiborne, first down.
And Claiborne is one of those guys you watch on tape and you say, man, he's really good. And then when you see him live, he's even better than advertised.
Claiborne over 100 yards rushing now tonight. Had 165 last year in a game against Old Dominion. Tonight getting it done on the ground here in the season opener.
You know what else he's doing a really nice job of? Pass protection. That's the one thing that young running backs struggle with, but he has really been key in protecting Kern or Bachmeier.
Clock running after the first down. Outside of 2 minutes in each half. New timing rules here for college football, keeping the game moving. Bachmeier keeping the ball moving. Guess who? Taylor Morin, stutter step at the 40 to the 30. He's got a blocker. He's got some tacklers, though. He's inside the 25-yard line. Taylor Morin again. Gain of 50 yards, his second big play tonight.
There's something about how Bachmeier carries out the fake as well. But Taylor Morin on this deep over, he is money there. When they hit him last year, he would do this, and he did it again tonight.
6 catches, 96 yards from Morin. Claiborne Minimal gain there. Look, the wide receiver position was one that Wake Forest, they knew they had more, but they lost some guys in the portal. You'd have some guys coming back, guys that have been out with injuries, like we talked about with Donovan Green. Are you going to rely on a guy like Micah Mays? Doesn't have a lot of playing time. Deuce Alexander, a young guy. You got more, and you got something to build on. Over the middle, that's complete. Walker Merrill with the catch.
And the ball comes out just a little bit different also with Bachmeier as he's getting more and more comfortable in this offense. The mesh, slow mesh, walk RPO, whatever you want to call it, but man, he fires that ball in there.
And you see him with his hands over his helmet. He got the helmet communication this year. You can listen to your coach in the helmet as a quarterback until 15 seconds are on the play clock or until the ball is snapped, whatever comes first. What's the impact this year on that?
It takes you away from having to do all the signals. Some teams are still going to do them, but it allows you now a chance to get the communication directly to your quarterback and to the linebacker who's assigned that position.
DeAndre Prince, is nicked up there. The transfer from App State, played in 45 career games with App State.
They've just really been impressed with him. Also has his attention to detail and how he's helped the young guys on this defensive front. Done a pretty nice job against a team like Wake. I mean, this is a team that was not very good at all last year, and they're competing.
Tate Carney back next to Bachmeier. Bachmeier rolling to his right. He's got some room. Throws end zone. Touchdown. Horatio Fields. There is a flag on the play behind the line of scrimmage. Bachmeier seems pretty confident. It's against North Carolina A&T, and he's going to get another touchdown pass.
He fired that ball in there, Matt.
Roughing the passer.
Result of the play, it's a touchdown. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 34, defense. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Horatio Fields with his first career touchdown reception here with Wake Forest. But
rolls outside, good protection, and then he's able to get out there and look at him fire the football in. What you do as a receiver, you go right 1 yard or so, and you stop right there. Quarterback, give me the ball. He also had a guy on the back end if he wanted more, and he had him wide open as well.
7 plays, 88 yards, 2 minutes, 39 seconds. And for Hank Bachmeier, his second touchdown pass of the night.
Pick your poison on this one, fellas. You get outside, you know you have 1 or 2. Fields, I'm going to pick you more, and next time I got you. Touchdown.
Hank Bachmeier, who's been quarterbacking college football since the Reagan administration. 164 passing yards tonight, a couple of touchdowns in his 3rd school, in his 39th game, getting it done, and you wonder if they found their quarterback.
It sure looks like it. I mean, it feels like he's really gotten comfortable and confident in this Warren Ruggiero offense along with Dave Clawson. They may have found the answer to the person to pull the trigger.
A little squib kick gathered at the 17. And out of bounds at the 20. Bachmeier started 5 of 11 passing. Since then, 6 of 7. A couple of touchdowns to his name. And now for North Carolina A&T. Again, a team that went 1-10 last season, the once proud program with 7 HBCU national championships. Their last coming in 2018, which was their 3rd in 4 years. And just trying to get back there. And you know, Vincent Brown seems pretty confident that he's going to turn this thing around. You know, last year, year 1, you can almost wipe it away. Year 2 becomes very important.
It becomes really, really important in the CAA as well. But like he talked about, we want to compete tonight, but that's really their goal. Try to win their conference.
Got road trips to Richmond, Villanova, Campbell as well. Handoff up the middle. Benji Christian. Maybe a couple of yards. Bryce Gaines with the stop. out-of-conference games against North Carolina Central, South Carolina State. Just haven't found that consistent success since leaving the MEAC, went to the Big South, now in the Coastal. Consistency can start with that man right here. That pass is caught on the far side. Jakari Caldwell close to a first down. Capone Blue, first time we've called his name tonight. The transfer from Kent State, sixth year, more than 1,000 career snaps for Wake Forest.
He is long and athletic and a good pickup for this Wake Forest team. Yeah, you talk about those transfers.
Yeah, Jakari Caldwell from South Carolina. Of course, not pictured Kenji Christian, who was with North Carolina A&T last season, former transfer from Virginia Tech. Nearly wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. There's Christian. You can see, well, he was a former Power 4 player. Capone Blue with the stop there. But it was interesting to talk to Dave Clawson about it. He said, look, you have to respect a team like this. They've got a few players that when they come out of high school, we could not have recruited, like a Jakari Caldwell.
Yeah, that was a very interesting conversation, and to hear that, and you can see why some of those guys were so highly recruited. Just some of the individual things we've been able to watch tonight.
4.5 minutes to go here in the third. Wesley Graves, the tailback. Big man is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Kevin Pointer again. Took a while to call the defensive lineman's name. We've called it a bunch now, a no gain after the sixth-year senior.
What he's done a nice job of as an adjustment is chasing or trailing that pulling guard and just saying, I'm going to go disrupt this play. That's the second time he's done that in the last two series, and he's just caused havoc in the backfield.
Brad Lambert couldn't say enough about he and Jasheen Davis and what they bring to this defense. Sterling Wiggins, a little movement there on the front.
The defensive front did a stem move, moving over early, and got Sterling Wiggins off kilter.
Number 66, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Really nice job of Wake Forest, also honoring the great Bill Hayes, longtime North Carolina A&T coach. Watch the offensive line moves, and he moved. He was also a Wake Forest coach at one point.
Yep, honoring Bill Hayes tonight. See Vincent Brown, North Carolina A&T coach. 31-10 lead here for Wake Forest. Fomby flips it out to his tight end on the far side and finds his way near a first down. Nicholas Dobson. It's about 5 yards shy, gain of 11, bringing up third down.
He and Josh George have had a really nice camp, and I love how he shows a little athleticism. Okay, if you're going to go low, I'm going to go high. I'm going to go real high.
They love what he brings. Great communicator. Doing an internship with kids, giving back to the community as well. So on and off the field, Nicholas Dobson getting it done there for North Carolina A&T. Three receivers set. It's Graves to Fomby's right. He's in trouble again. That pressure provided by Gaines.
Bryce Gaines was in the backfield before Fomby even was able to get back to his third or fourth step.
Gaines, a former FCS player himself from Villanova a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, the transfer from Villanova. Really nice job of splitting the double team and just wreaking havoc. They've been impressed with him this camp because he was, as a transfer, he's getting adjusted and learning to play. And I watched film on him, and he looked good last year. But I think they expect even more from Bryce Gaines this year.
Yeah, a couple of starts last year with Wake. Helped lead Villanova to the FCS playoffs during his couple of seasons there.
I happened to call one of those games. I just thought about that as we're looking here, and I was like, I remember Bryce Gaines at Villanova.
It's on a spotting board of yours back in the closet back at home. 31-10 lead for Wake Forest. And Bachmeier, again, we had heard a few series for Michael Kern and then a few series for Bachmeier, and then they're going to decide how to do it. And here's the thing. It's not like this is a cupcake non-conference schedule. You got Virginia next week in conference play, and then after that, Ole Miss coming to town.
Oh, yeah. And then, don't sleep on Louisiana, and then at North Carolina State after that. They've got a tough little stretch, and then Clemson after that.
So you want to find who your guy is. We got a flag here. This could be coming back. You got to find your guy, get him some time, get him to gel here, and see what Dave Clawson has to say after this game.
Well, coaches always talk about the leap that teams make from week 1 to week 2. But also, if you win, even if it's ugly, you can really get after your guys about what they need to improve. And some of the things you've seen from a penalty standpoint and some of the other things are coachable moments for this Wake Forest ball club.
Offense, number 20. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Cameron Height there with the hold. But you think about, look, you're coming off a season last year as a losing season. You missed out on a bowl game. So you got North Carolina A&T tonight. And then look at this schedule. You better find yourself quickly.
Yeah, you better. And you better make the improvement quickly, because none of those teams, you know, are going to give you any grace.
Mike Bachmeier has led 3 straight scoring drives. That one in and out of the hands of Tate Carney. Tate Carney, whose older brother Cade was a 2-time captain, 1,000-yard rusher back in 2018. He's come a long way here with this offense, trying to find his footing here tonight.
His father Carl played D-line at East Carolina, so a lot of football in that family line.
2nd down and 15 for Bachmeier. Bachmeier's got his man. That one's over the middle, and he's got some room. Deuce Alexander again with a big play, chunk yardage, plus 25 and a first down before Stephen Davis brought him down.
You always hear coaches talk about guys will make plays and show you who the quarterback should be. Deuce Alexander says, okay, throw me the ball. I don't care who's back there. I'm going to go make a play for you.
Arnie finding some room, embracing would-be tacklers. Ty Williams with the stop, another gain of 10 and a first down.
I call Carney one of those guys that just likes to meet everybody on the defense. He's going to meet them. They ain't going to be happy with that meeting.
31-10, Wake Forest. They trailed 10-7. It's been all Wake since. Bachmeier looking down the near side. Has his man. Nice back shoulder throw. It's Donovan Green. Another big play for Green. Missed all of last season. He's got a touchdown tonight. And Donovan Green, the redshirt junior, with a gain of 35.
You couldn't ask for a better throw. Look at the protection there all the time in the world, and on that back shoulder with enough space from the sideline.
Arnie turning upfield. As Sumter with the stop, the offense continuing to churn up yards and clock.
It was about 4 or 5 guys he met. Carney just, hey, look, he might not show you a lot of wiggle, but he's going to show you a lot of, I'm going to run through you.
Flag on the play as Carney gets the handoff. A couple of flags.
This offensive line is starting to really assert their dominance now. You can see the rotation of defensive linemen coming in for North Carolina A&T.
Illegal substitution. 12 players on defense. 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
You're trying to make substitutions with a team that likes to snap the ball immediately.
That's true. And the other thing is, your offense hasn't kept the ball from this Wake Forest offense, which is allowing them to now just churn those yards out.
Bachmeier, plenty of time, looking for touchdown number 3. Oh, nearly had it there in the corner of the end zone to Alexander, who's about to put a capper on a fantastic night.
Those Beef Boys up front doing a nice job of giving the protection. Alexander right through the hands.
It's a good ball.
Yeah, Stephen Davis on the coverage.
Alexander 4 catches for 65 yards. Throws it out in the flat to the running back, making a stop, making a move. That is out to the right side. That's his H-back, Cameron Height, making the catch, making the run again in his 6th season.
he's just so good in the pass game, but he's so effective in the run game too. This tight end crew that they have does a really nice job, and that's why they're able to run the football so effectively, and when they need to throw it, they can.
They love using multiple tight ends. Done it for years here with Dave Clawson. Bachmeier to the end zone, touchdown, and there's that man, Deuce Alexander. The redshirt freshman with his first touchdown of the season, second of his career, and Wake Forest has blown it open.
Brad Lambert said he gave us all kind of problems, and then Tate Carney with a nice block pickup on the inside of Joshua Isaiah that gave Bachmeier all that time to fire the ball in. He said, I missed you last time, but I'm going to get you this time.
Hey, you want to make some friends? Throw touchdowns to 3 different players. That's what he's done here tonight.
You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown.
9 plays, 90 yards, 4 scoring drives for Bachmeier. 38-10. As we close in on the 4th quarter. Deuce Alexander. Again, as Brad Lambert, the defensive coordinator for Wake Forest, who was very upfront saying he has challenged us the most in camp.
And when you have that, then you know, like, hey, this guy's going to get a chance. And the coaches were excited about Donovan Green coming back, but they were really excited about him. He was further ahead of other guys and how he had played and prepared in the offseason, and it carried over tonight. Another young guy that we may see at some point is Jeremiah Melvin, who is also a really talented player, but tonight, out of the young players, Deuce Alexander has been all that's advertised.
Bachmeier 15 of 24, 235, 3 touchdowns. And again, that is 54 career touchdown passes. He is now in the top 10 for active career touchdown throwers.
When you got a brother named Bear, who's your youngest brother, and Tiger, who's at Stanford, both of them will be Stanford football players. Hank is an average name, but not an average player.
Sorry to all the Hanks out there.
Well, out of a family of Bear and Tiger. Hank is a great name.
4 straight scoring drives of 70-plus yards for Hank Bachmeier. And we'll see how much longer he plays tonight.
Well, and the good thing is, no matter how that shakes out, you still have a guy, Michael Kern, who I think has been effective. You can see them on the sideline with the tablets that they also have now, along with the helmet communication, to get a better understanding of what's happening throughout the course of the game.
38-10. The outside, that's Christian. Got some room near a first down, knocked out of bounds. There on the far sideline by Rashawn Tung.
Talk about a team in North Carolina A&T. They've got Winston-Salem coming up, Delaware at North Carolina Central, at South Carolina State, and at Richmond. But this is a team that I think is going to cause some problems in their conference.
Cesar Monaro is now down on the play. The most valuable player on this team, 26 career starts on that offensive front, I should say. That's the most on the team.
Yeah, he is a key player for them. Out of Sun Valley High School.
Talked to David Morris, said he reminds us of Jake Brindle, who's at UCLA. Longtime starter there. Said, you think you can replace him? And you really can't. Then all of a sudden he goes to the NFL and has a great career.
His O-line coach was saying that, you know, he would go and get cars for his dad who would, you know, fix those cars up. And he said he'd spend time talking to him. He said all he wanted to do was talk about, hey, coach, what about this play? What about how do I do this? You know, just as a center, those guys are so valuable in how they see the field for your quarterback.
Yeah, Monaro, a guy that's really orchestrated the morning meeting schedule. 6 a.m. meetings. Offensive coordinator David Morris saying, oh, I might get to go about my business a little bit. Nope, the kids want to meet. And Monaro's getting the guys in the office.
It's good when you have guys like that that are students of the game and they want to get the other offensive linemen together and tight ends and other guys on the offense to kind of see what they see.
Brock Stooks now moves over to center. Place of Monero. And that should do it for the third quarter. It's been all Wake Forest here, Buck. Wake Forest was trailing 10-7. They're not trailing anymore. 38-10 through 3. Fourth quarter now.
The new 12-team college football playoff begins December 20th on ESPN.
It'll be here before you know it, so enjoy the regular season while you can. Here at a Legacy Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Start of the fourth quarter, it's 31-10, Wake Forest. If you're a Deacon fan, it was a little touch and go there in that first half. Michael Kern got the start, led him to a touchdown drive with the legs of Damon Claiborne. It's been the arm of Hank Bachmeier that has been leading the way since. And he might be the man leading the way for this team, at least in the early part of this season, as Wesley Graves gets the carry for a short gain.
This defense is really now starting to step up as well. Early on, though, you got to look at the rush yards that they've given up, 137. One thing you want to clean up if you're Wake Forest. Early on, Christian and Graves were really gashing them. But on any passing situation now, whether it's Fomby or White, neither one of them have had any time.
Fomby has his man again. That's Jakari Caldwell. Showing some good athleticism tonight. That will move the sticks yet again.
Well, we expected him to be a guy that was going to make some plays for him.
Former transfer from South Carolina. Said, yeah, he's overcome injuries and he's really starting to come into his own and show why he was a highly recruited prospect coming out of high school.
Brother Anthony Johnson played in the NFL with Tampa Bay, the Chargers, and Pittsburgh.
Cesar Romero is now back in on the offensive line and helping lead the way for Kenji Christian down the near side.
That's, if you're on the defensive side, that's the one thing as a defensive coach you want to make sure that this doesn't happen, because this blocking, this counter play by them is just creating some gash plays. And Kenji Christian has been able to find an open lane and get moving down the field.
Kenji Christian, 14 carries, 110 yards here tonight. A couple of backs over 100 yards. Claiborne for Wake Forest. Kenji Christian for this Aggies team. Wesley Graves now in, runs through and over Nick Anderson.
And left side of the line, they just walled everyone down. Wesley Graves, if he has any step, he's going to run through a few people on that second and third level.
Gain of 7 for Graves. You mentioned the kind of thunder and lightning combination. North Carolina A&T coaches believe they might have the best 1-2 combination in the conference. David Marsh said it reminds him of Ladarius Owens and Ja'Cory Howard at Texas Southern. It's a great combination there. For A&M, Keith Ford, Travion Williams, a little thunder and lightning. Now and right behind the line of scrimmage. There's that man again, Kevin Pointer with the TFL. Loss of 5.
Yeah, your mind isn't playing tricks on you. It's Kevin Pointer you see. You don't have to stand in a dark four-cornered room, stare at candles. You're going to stare at Kevin Pointer. He's going to take you down. That is nice. I mean, he gets in there. That's the third time this half he has been all over that backfield.
Third tackle for loss of this half brings up a 3rd down and long. Here for North Carolina A&T, the Aggies from Greensboro, trying to find some offense here in this second half. Fomby wrapped up right at the line. That's Branson Combs. His 6th year of college football, first season with Wake after a career in Southern Illinois. Brings up 4th down.
Yeah, they're happy to have him here because of his length, and that what you're going to see here is his ability to flow. Watch, right there. Get over to him and take him down.
Nearly 200 tackles in his career, 90 of them solo, and why not attempt a 51-yard field goal? Andrew Brown trying to find some offense. Brown from 51. He's got the leg, and it is good. Andrew Brown, the redshirt junior, missed all of last season with a knee injury. He's good from 51. And North Carolina A&T on the board in the second half. Awesome to see Wake Forest to honor the great Bill Hayes tonight, riding the back of the Demon Deacon, leading the team out tonight. He was Wake Forest running backs coach in the 1970s, the first black assistant coach at Wake Forest, and the first in the ACC as well. Became the head coach at Winston-Salem State University, took him to the Division II playoff. Then was the head coach at North Carolina A&T for 14 seasons. A pair of playoff appearances, conference titles, second winningest football coach in the state of North Carolina at the college level, and he got a great ovation pregame tonight.
He really did. Legendary guy.
Taylor Morin's got some room crossing the 35-yard line. And again, talking to the coaches, they just respect everything he built at North Carolina A&T.
Well, I can remember the coaches convention when it was in Charlotte. Brad Lambert was then the coach at Charlotte, and he was, been around the game forever. But he was holding court in a corner, and I just went over there and listened like a fly on the wall just to hear some of the great Bill Hayes stories. Craig Thompson, who played in the NFL during the same time that I did, is a proud Aggie alum, and he just can't say enough about the great Bill Hayes.
Yeah, here at David Marsh, the offensive coordinator, I was just picking his brain the other day, walked through the hallways at North Carolina A&T, just never too far from the program he helped build.
He probably knows every coach in the state of North Carolina in high school and on staff because everybody knows who Bill Hayes is.
Helmet comes off for Claiborne, so he's going to have to check out. Hank Bachmeier continues at quarterback. 15 of 24 passing, 235. 3 touchdowns, no picks. Playing in his 39th career game at his 3rd different school. Bachmeier has some time, and that one's incomplete. Intended for Walker Merrill on the near side.
That offensive line has just kept him real clean. Aaron Harris on the coverage there. But again, they've been able to move Devontae Gordon over to the left tackle. He had to play a lot of right tackle. Even there, pass protection number on PFF was 82.4, which is the best in the passing game. He's gotten better in the run, as a run blocker as well.
Bachmeier sets his feet, near side, has his man. That one is caught. Toe tap in bounds. On the near side by Walker Merrill for the first down, gain of 12.
Great footwork on the sideline by Merrill. And Bachmeier keeping plays alive, what he's been known for through his career, looking downfield and then throws a strike to Merrill. Oof. Merrill does a good job of coming straight down that stem. They might look at this. That's why they were trying to get the ball off quick.
The ruling on the previous play of completed catch is under further review.
10 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter, and a 25-point lead here for Wake Forest. And they will take a look at this play. Walker Merrill with the catch on the near side. So while they review it, take a break. 10 minutes to go here in the 4th. Wake Forest on its way to a season-opening win. catches confirmed for Walker Merrill. Get 7 different receivers with a catch here tonight. And look at this again. Sets his feet. 2 feet in.
That's a coaching clinic. You come right down that line on that stem and just let the quarterback take you. And really nice job by Walker Merrill. Came up a little gimpy.
10 minutes to go here in this 4th quarter. Hank Bachmeier watched Michael Kern in the first 3 series of this game as Kern got the start. This battle of 6th-year college football players. It's been advantage Bachmeier here in this second half. Claiborne got some blockers in front. Crosses the line to gain. Trey Mittman with the stop, gain of 10.
Yeah, Harry Lodge with a really nice block, and then the receivers are doing a good job. That's when you have explosive plays from the run game, when everybody gets involved.
Claiborne, are they going to give it to him? Yes. He is 0 to 60 in about a split second.
I mean, he gets the ball, and then it's, I'm out on the other side. Catch me if you can.
The slow mesh. What is the advantage of running an offense like that?
What it does is it gets the defense. They don't know because you're holding the ball in there so long, and they have to make a decision. Is it a run or a pass? And right here is another example. You're thinking, okay, he's handed the ball off. I got to come up and field. But no, I pull it out, and you have these open receivers running down the field. And their offensive line does just enough where they can stay in between, meaning they don't go too far down the field. And if he does hand it off, he still has protection.
Claiborne trying to move the chains again, and they should. Should be a gain of 1 and a first down.
And if you think about it last year, their rushing game wasn't as strong as it had been in the past, and that was another reason why they struggled throwing the football. It all kind of comes together.
They were 13th in total offense, 13th in scoring offense, 12th in passing yards per game. Last in turnover margin, they just could not get it done. There were a lot of things that had to turn around going into this season. And, you know, considering the opponent, it's probably a little challenging to see exactly what they fixed in the offseason, but it's been a good start, at least here in this second half of this first game. Of course, getting a big play in special teams doesn't hurt.
All of that factors in and really provides you with a lot of good things. Since 2016, they've been one of the best in the nation in the turnover margin. And they were -6 last year, which was a precipitous drop-off for them, and -3 the year before. But even with that, over the last 8 years, they've been +31. That just goes to show you the last 2 years were not good for this Wake Forest ball club.
Bachmeier stepping up in the pocket. Did he cross the line of scrimmage? It looks like he did. This touchdown's not going to count. Walker Merrill catches the ball in the end zone, but Bachmeier was about a yard or 2 past the line of scrimmage.
He knew it right after as he
Stop
threw
the
ball.
fireworks. Stop the fireworks.
Right when he threw the football, he knew I got too far down the field.
You can see Merrill reading his lips. What happened? Why aren't we celebrating with me in the end zone right now? See Bachmeier do that. We saw for A&T Kevin White do that earlier.
For a first game, you got to figure.
Pass beyond the line of scrimmage. Number 9, offense. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, plus loss of down. Second down.
38 games played. You'd think you'd know.
Yeah, he got down the field too much, too far. But see, he's already going towards the line of scrimmage, and then as soon as he takes those other couple of steps, but you see how wide open Walker Merrill is because of the slow mesh of that play.
Carney's the tailback with Bachmeier. Second down and long. Bachmeier finds his man. That's Horatio Fields. First down, or close to it.
In the RPO world, when you have that hard charging back going outside and then you have what we call a glance route, it's going to usually be open because the defense has to respect the first route.
Bachmeier gives to Carney. Carney plows ahead, tackled by Malik Jacobs. Gain of 6 for the redshirt sophomore out of Davie County High School in North Carolina.
You see the difference. You have one guy that can jump, cut, and be gone, and you have another one that's going to hit downhill, and you got to stop him before he gets going.
Carney fighting his way for another first down. It'll be first down and goal. Stopped by Ty Williams Jr. as Wake Forest on the verge of cracking 40.
Love as a blocker when you have a guy that can just run through people. Saw Harry Lodge, one of those key blockers in that offensive line, just really now getting leverage and getting under those pads.
Bachmeier shouting out the call, shouting out the protection. And giving it to Carney. Stopped at the line.
Well, you think this defense for A&T, they have been on the field a whole lot in the second half. Guys, hands on the hips and trying to get some air. Ain't much air to get.
Wake Forest. Late man coming on the field for North Carolina A&T. Bachmeier, 3 on the play clock. Gives to Carney. Carney plowing his way. Wait for the signal. Touchdown, Wake Forest.
Physical into the drive. Look at the interior offensive line, man on man, all that black wall just pushing back. And Carney says, okay, give me that touchdown. Give it to me, please.
Carney with the touchdown, Wake Forest. There's a point after from hitting 45. They didn't reach that mark in any game a season ago, so that's a good sign. 4-8 campaign last year. Gonna start 1-0 here tonight. 45-13. Bachmeier's first drive tonight ended with a punt. Since then, 5 straight scoring drives, 4 touchdowns.
An exclamation point when you have a guy like Carney who's going to run downhill, get behind those guys, and score another touchdown.
Dave Clawson has led Wake Forest to so much success. How about these bowl wins? Again, a head coach that has the 3rd most wins in school history and a school record 5 bowl victories. Just seemed like something that was so rare and then became an annual affair. Look at the Gasparilla Bowl and the win over Missouri back in 2022. That was 7 straight bowl appearances, not counting the COVID year in 2020. And that was stopped last season. And you know that just burned Dave Clawson, just seeing that streak go by the wayside. And he knows this program is better than that. He's built better than that. And they're looking to turn it around this year.
Well, it was interesting, too, as Brad Lambert, a guy that has been here before, said, hey, he and Coach Grove are different in how they approach, but some of the same things that they've been able to do at the school like Wake Forest are the impressive piece. And the thing with him is he also, I love how he talked about, hey, we needed to be better in how we competed in the NIL space, how we went about that. And he took a look at the whole program, and when you're honest with yourself and you can say those things, that's what keeps guys or gets guys like Hank Bachmeier, or get other people here, or keep your guys when they make a decision to try to leave to go somewhere else.
He had a really interesting quote as well that we'll get to in a moment. Just about how tough it is to retain players as Tyler Walton makes the tackle there on the stop. If Dave Clawson is nothing but very honest, He's going to tell you what he thinks. He's not going to apologize for it. And he's a really well-respected and smart head coach.
And it doesn't ever sound like in a conversation or when you hear him talk about it that he's complaining. It's not about, hey, woe is me or any of that. It's just the truth and the facts of the matter. And that's what I always like about hearing him speak on those issues.
Thomas Brown with the catch and the first down. And Dave Clawson entering his 25th season as a head coach. Started at Fordham back in 1999. 11th season as head coach at Wake Forest. Set so many school records for the past 4 seasons. 3rd most wins in school history. Got it done at Richmond as well with a couple of CAA titles.
And Matt, let's face it. We as much as we love college football, we know the things that go on with the tampering and everything else. And I don't need Dave Clawson or any other head coach in America to tell me that it happens. We know from being in it, living in it every day. And I think those are the things that frustrates coaches when they have to deal with that, especially if they're not in a position, or even if they are in a position where they have the funds to do that. And I think those are some of the things that, you know, over the course of time are going to have to be worked out.
Up the middle, that's Graves. He's had a really nice game. Wesley Graves, 3rd-year contributor here for this A&T club. Rashawn Tung with the stop.
That's 177 rushing yards for A&T. They're going to be a problem in the CAA.
73 of them for Graves as he hops off. 17 carry night so far. Kenji Christian is in. He's got a 100-yard game.
Graves' career high was at Delaware, 83 yards, had 20 rushes. See if he gets close to that.
Christian with the cutback. A couple of really good running backs being showcased tonight. Number 1 for Wake Forest, Demond Claiborne. Number 7 for A&T, Kenji Christian.
And by design of their play, both programs, how they set their guys up for success. You've got to respect the outside receiver, so it puts you in a bind when you can't always bring that extra man in the box. And you're playing a match game with a guy like Kenji Christian.
Christian is hammered there.
Yeah, that was a nice tackle.
Met right there, a couple of yards past the line of scrimmage by Darius Jones.
Made his presence felt. You hear that way up here.
Just a little more than a couple of minutes left in this one. The game that Wake Forest was expected to win by 32-ish points. So last couple of minutes, somewhat interesting. 45-13. And that 2-minute timeout is right here on the horizon. Wake Forest, 45-13 lead. 2 minutes to go here in this season opener in Winston-Salem. Dave Clawson at his Tuesday news conference had this to say about the state of college football. He says there's a different dynamic to college football now. We're going to play a bunch of teams here that have some pretty high payrolls, and we're going to have to play really, really well in those football games. So look, it's the state of the game right now. Other schools have more resources. They have more money. The collectives are there. We're trying. We're getting better, but we can't compete right now with some of those in terms of acquiring the talent that other schools can. And when the best talent wins out, and you're getting that talent because you have more resources, it can become a challenge for a school like Wake Forest.
Well, they also talk about how the transfer portal window, if they move that around and make it only one time as opposed to a longer stretch, one period and then another. So I think that's interesting too.
He said, I want to do away with the spring portal, and you've seen that proposed. He said you get extorted twice right now. You get extorted. You get it done to you as a coach in December. That fastball is incomplete. You also get it done to you in the spring. And he said, look, when we're all at 85 scholarships, we can compete.
Yeah.
But now they've raised the roster limit as well to 105, so you can fund 105 scholarships. And you also have to think about it, Clawson put it this way. the revenue sharing, if every school is getting the same amount, we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know, level the playing field.
And that's a really good point. And those are all things that you have to consider. And then you got to go play ball, right? How do we win with who we have?
But you know, you lose Deshaun Jones to Alabama. You lose Malik Mustafa and Kalen Carson to the NFL. Guys on the back end that could help you if you could retain them. That one nearly intercepted, as that was incomplete, intended for Thomas Brown. Minute 19 to go. And a turnover on downs.
We also have to say, you know, may the great Al Adams, another guy that was a big-time North Carolina A&T contributor to not only the success of the Golden State Warriors, but the A&T Aggie pride, passed away recently. But getting back to that conversation, you're right about all of the things that you have to look at and consider when you're looking at college football.
It certainly is a different world. They're going to play some different teams coming up. Virginia next week and Ole Miss after that. The quarterback in for Wake Forest, Tyler Mizell. Gives the handoff there to Ty Clark. So that's a picture of the future. Redshirt freshman handing off to the freshman Ty Clark III out of Nashville. Who was a 3-star top 50 player in the state of Tennessee. Got some high hopes for him.
Yeah, that was the one guy that we heard his name, and Mizell is one, but Ty Clark, someone that they are going to start playing earlier. A development program where they want to get guys included. You can play them for 4 games without burning their redshirt year, but if they play more than that, then they become a part of your program instantly.
40 seconds to go here. And off up the middle. Should be the last play of the night as Henry Daniel makes the stop. Again, Wake Forest didn't crack 500 yards last year in any game. 515 tonight. Didn't crack 40 last year, 45 tonight. They were looking to turn the page from last year to this year. This is a good start.
Well, your first game of the year is always going to be a little tricky. Started out a little slow, and let's give North Carolina A&T a lot of credit. They didn't just let that happen either. But I like how Wake Forest finished, and I think Hank Bachmeier gave us a lot to think about as that quarterback option for the Wake Forest ball club.
Thanks to Brian Holloway, Sports Information Director, North Carolina A&T. Will Pantages of Sports Information Director of Wake Forest. Our producer, David Harris. Spotter, Bill Gary, statistician Ed Spina, and everyone behind the scenes for helping us out. Nice win for Wake Forest tonight.
It was a way they had to get it done, and it was a long off season, but this makes it nicer.
45-13, Wake Forest with the win. For Charles Arbuckle, our entire crew, I'm Matt Schick. Good night from Winston-Salem. We've only just begun. Wake Forest 1-0.